gosh.
Important thing for us to do is to start back at...
Don't worry about that.
Gonna have to mute it. Click on the,
That was the video, actually.
Oh, okay. People got me twice. Uh-oh.
A brief double serene.
Mm-hmm. Bet that was exciting.
There we go. That's good. That is a plus.
I just got an email copy of the change in terms and price.
The PlayStation 3 didn't want her to log in today.
Yeah.
Told her they updated the terms of service.
Yeah.
I have changed the deal.
Deal was changed.
Pray that I do not alter it any further. Oh, oh boy!
Oh boy! Go. Oh my god, Becky.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, this went over so well the first time. We decided we had to get through the rest of the game for it.
Ain't coming?
No. Never.
Yep. But we couldn't leave it hanging at like halfway through.
It is pretty funny that like more than half the story happens in the first 4 chapters, and yet nothing actually
Nothing happened.
happens.
Nothing happened.
Like, we just went through everything that the game felt was plot relevant, except the fact that Dex was pretending to be Brute. And
No. That's not relevant.
Not relevant at all.
That's irrelevant. Irrelevant.
Anything unrelated to elephants.
Why on earth would you need to know that Dex can shapeshift? That
Probably isn't important. I
No.
can't wait for the journal entry
important.
about that, where it's like, I can't believe it. No one ever considered that it wasn't Lloyd.
Floyd? How could it be Floyd?
I can't believe that it was Dex.
Floyd betrayed us. Yes, apart from nah. Bruh. Baz and Volcano definitely good ass children. Anyway, journal.
Back at it again at the Krispy Kreme. It's 5.
Okay, so yeah. Right. And the chapters really do shorten, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we got through 100 of them, and there's only 70 or so entries left, like, and we're halfway, you know, like, we're at the halfway chapter of the game. Chapter 7's the one that's going to have nothing in it, though.
It honestly seems like it's longer than chapter 8.
Huh.
Yeah, four pages longer.
I guess I could sort of see that, because chapter 8 is technically not, like,
Chapter
finished.
5 is it's only 18 pages. But, like, the truth behind the mask is the one where the big reveal happened.
Where you learn the truth.
Oh boy, you learn about Floyd.
Behind the mask.
These pages might be huge.
The ostensible thing that is going
Alright.
on here.
Alright, let's do it.
Ready?
I'm ready. I'm starting. Let's go. Marta here, heart. Emil, saying things like that is a really good way to make me fall in love with you.
We're not even gonna go back and learn that thing he said.
Don't worry, I'll try to control myself, so don't freak out. But really, thank you. I'm so happy happy to gradually learn more and more about you and becoming better friends. I'm just glad that we're traveling together. Now, Tokyo is the capital of Tethiala, and it's a large, busy city just like I expected it to be. As a Silverante coming from a land without a unified government...
Thanks for clarifying that.
Just seeing this city is almost enough to make me feel inferior, but I'm not gonna give up that easily. Once we manage to wake a Relatosk, I want to do something to help the people of Silveran. But for now, we need to look for Glacius's core. The accessory shop owner would probably go to an item shop to sell a jewel, or what he thinks is a jewel. So let's go to the item shop and ask about the core. By the way, we spotted a man named Tokunaga in front of the item shop. He's someone who Regal knows. He walked off before Regal could even say hello, though. Rude. Rude.
Alright, what voice was I? Sorry, I'll need a moment.
You can even change the voice at this point, who cares? Yeah, this journal definitely reaffirms that Marta is irredeemable.
Basically. As we guessed, the shop owner from Flanor sold Glacius's core to the item shop here. But someone beat us and bought it first. The shopkeeper even said something about customer confidentiality and refused to tell us who had bought it. What should we do? That Centurion's core is very dangerous to whomsoever bought it. Regal suggested we go to see the king of Tethiala to talk about it. He said that most of the people who buy fine jewels are members of the nobility, so it's possible that the king may have heard about the noble who purchased the core.
Oh my god,
boy, that is such
so
a long
long
sentence. I was worried it would be difficult to gain an audience with the king, but it turns out that Regal's a noble, a duke!
Did he not tell us that before? I feel like he told us he was
That is a fascinating question.
Is this really where we found out that he was a duke?
I guess so. Regal's even more amazing than I thought. I'm sure we'll have no trouble at all with the king if Regal comes along. I am a little nervous though. I am kind of a rebel agent. Don't worry about that. All right, let's head to the castle.
No one recognized me.
Doesn't even go here.
I can hardly believe everything that's happened. On our way to the castle, we were attacked by Alice. We managed to beat her, but she rigged one of her monsters to self-destruct.
Right,
Emma was about to be killed, and Tenebrae sacrificed himself in order to save him.
Rip.
It was really dumb. He picked him up by his tail and flew him in the air, and then he exploded. And we were all very sad for a little bit, because we thought that Tenebrae was dead. But Emma learned from the other Centurions that Tenebrae was actually still alive. He just returned to his core state after being injured. So now we're gonna get Tenebrae's core from the Temple of Darkness and wake him up again. I'm worried about Glacius's core, but Rigo's gonna go and talk to the king and see what he can find out. Tenebrae, hang on, we're coming for you.
I'm coming for you, bud. When we got to the Temple of Darkness, Emil told us that he could feel Tenebrae's presence. Thank goodness. We need to hurry up and find him. When we finally got to the altar where Tenebrae was, Richter was there. It seems that he somehow learned that Tenebrae had changed back into a core and came here to destroy him.
How did he know that?
I have no... maybe Alice told him.
Alice didn't stick around, right?
I don't know what Alice got up to. We fought with Richter, and part of the Temple of Darkness collapsed due to the powerful arts that he and Emil were using. We got caught in the rubble and were separated from each other. Yikes. Come to think of it, Richter seems surprised at the art Emil used at the end of their battle. I wonder why.
Yeah, it really was the plot required Richter to be there. I mean, the plot required Alice to be in No Tokyo in the first place. She just appeared out
chilling,
of nowhere.
Just being like, I knew you folks were coming here.
And we're like, how?
I knew if I just waited here, the plot would drag you here eventually.
I knew that I would lose, so I put a self-destruct collar on my monster so you would die horribly.
Made him bear hug you.
After all that, we all reunited pretty quickly. But as soon as we did, I opened my big mouth and mentioned that Emil had been in Ratatox mode for a long time. He'd been that way ever since Tenebrae returned to his core. But when I said it, Ratatox mode Emil seemed really hurt. He said maybe he should just go away and lose consciousness just like that. I didn't mean it to sound like I hated Ratatox mode Emil, or I wanted to get rid of him, or anything like that. It's just that Emil had never been in Ratatox mode for anywhere near that long before. Even though I didn't mean anything by it, I think it hurt Emil's feelings. I'm sorry, Emil.
You're now turning into Emil as you go here.
I should know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Emil.
The sorries are contagious.
Yep.
When Emil woke, he was no longer in Ratatosk mode. It was probably because of me. Emil, I really am sorry. I don't care if you're normal Emil or Ratatosk mode Emil.
Jesus.
I love you either. Now, I feel like putting a value on normal Emil versus Ratatosk mode Emil.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
Oh, boy. It really just shows that she doesn't actually love Emil. Like, she doesn't know who Emil is.
Yep.
Even remotely. Like,
She's just into the idea.
Yeah, 100%.
While Emil was unconscious, Tenebrae's core didn't show any signs of hatching at all. But once Emil woke, Tenebrae immediately emerged from his core. Tenebrae was right back to being his old prissy self, which I found oddly comforting. I'm so glad he's safe. Well, now that we've saved Tenebrae, let's head back to Meltokyo.
We ran into Regal just as we were leaving the Temple of Darkness. He had found out who owns Glacius' core and had come to tell us the news.
Oh boy.
Celes Wilder, who happens to be the youngest sister of Zelos, the chosen of Tepliala, is the one who brought the core. Zelos is that sleazy guy we met back in Palma Costa. I can't say that I'm looking forward to seeing him again, but if we want to get Glacius' core, I suppose we can't let this opportunity slip away. Let's head to the House of Zelos, the chosen in Meltokyo.
Emil here!
The Mickey's back.
Listen, please don't worry about the whole Ratatosk mode thing. My memories of that time are sort of fuzzy. It's probably because of how chaotic everything was, but I don't think it's something I'd get mad about.
So he wrote in the journal that he doesn't remember?
But we literally read in the journal earlier than this that he did. Well, like, why is the game?
But then he hides us later, right?
Yeah.
Like, people are like, Emil, you're acting weird. And he's like, it's nothing, but he's just written here.
Well, this is the first. They're sort of bringing this up as if he didn't mention the I didn't remember it back in chapter 4, you know?
But they are on, like, this isn't mentioned, like, and later on, the fact that
I
he wrote down that he doesn't remember is not, is forgotten.
It was, yeah, like, he did mention, like, he didn't remember. I think that was the first time the game tried to bring it up, other than the other times the game brought it up.
Anyway, once we got to Meltokyo, we visited the mansion of the chosen, Zelos. We had intended to ask about Glaucius' core, but we heard noise coming from the second floor. Zelos had been kidnapped, and the kidnapper was Lloyd! Oh no! I don't know what's going on here, but we have to act quickly. If we act quickly, maybe we can still rescue Celis. We'd better find Lloyd, and fast, fellas.
While I was searching for Lloyd, I ran into Zelos. Just as I was telling him that Celis had been kidnapped, Lloyd ran by with Celis slung over his shoulder. Lloyd looked surprised and ran off in a hurry. For some reason, the camera was angled so that we couldn't see his face. I'm sure that's unimportant.
Even though it actually was a perfect replica of Lloyd's face.
We weren't able to catch up. Zelos said that the kidnapper who took Celis wasn't Lloyd. I got a good look at him though, and I don't see how it could have been anyone other than Lloyd Irving. Now that Lloyd slipped away, there isn't any point continuing to wander around the city. The kidnapper might have left a ransom note, so we decided to go back to Zelos' mansion.
When we got back to Zelos' mansion, the household staff told us that they saw the kidnapping.
Sorry. That is... I love that comment.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The writers also had rats on, so I forgot what they wrote.
Half of this game was written in Ratatosk
That's
mode,
amazing.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Lloyd burst through a window, grabbed Celis and Glaucius's core, and made a quick getaway. While Myrtle and I were dismayed at the thought that Lloyd had taken the core, Zelos continued to insist that Lloyd was not the kidnapper. He based this on the fact that the kidnapper was wearing particularly pungent cologne, and Lloyd didn't wear cologne at all. When I realized Lloyd smelled just like that eau de seduction cologne that Dex used. So maybe it was Dex who abducted Celis while disguising himself as Lloyd.
It would be interesting if the journal had maybe mentioned how Dex can disguise himself as other people.
No, unimportant.
Unimportant.
When we shared that theory with Zelos, he said he was going to tell the Tethealan king the whole story and told us to come too. Since Zelos' family is second in status only to the royal family, he has to inform the king of such developments. I'm a little nervous about it, but let's go to the castle and see what happens.
But it seems like Emmatos never writes a journal entry.
Yeah.
Because it was just Marta writing it the entire time he was at
While he was in that mode, I did notice it was doing
Which
that.
is a shame. I want to hear the Sonic voice.
I feel like he would never agree to it, though.
It's true. It's true. Emmatos would never write a journal. He is way too good for that. Just as we were explaining to the Tethealan king that Celis may have been abducted by the Vanguard, Sheena and Regal joined us at the castle and reported that Lloyd's Rayherd had been spotted flying to the east. When Marta heard that, she said that the Vanguard had a fortress in that direction. That's probably where Celis is being held.
We also, think about that for a second. The Vanguard literally had a fortress on the continent with the capital of Tetheala. They just had a full-on base
That would be
within striking distance.
Yeah, that would be a Tethealan continent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. You're right.
They
and
just
and
waltzed
people
in.
knew where the HQ was, but nobody thought about,
checking it out or, reporting it to the army.
Zelos suggested that maybe the reason they kidnapped Celis was to lure the real Lloyd. Maybe in their pursuit of Glaucius's core, the Vanguard found an opportunity to not only take the core from Celis, but to use Celis as a part of a scheme to get any cores Lloyd had as well. Zelos seems intent on saving his sister. And of course we can't ignore her either, I guess. We have to work together and rescue Celis. Our target is the Cape Fortress, to the east of Mount Tokyo.
I figured I should probably write this down as well. Before we left Meltokyo, I apologize to everyone for being so fervent in my suspicions about Lloyd. I still think it was Lloyd who killed my parents for some reason.
No, why? Why do you believe that, Emil? Why?
Especially when the second half of this sentence is,
But I can't deny the possibility that it could have been Dex in disguise.
It's very
No
obvious.
shit!
Yeah, like page number, we are in hundreds before anyone thinks, oh, maybe it's Floyd.
before it ever even comes out.
Maybe it's Floyd. And even here, he's like, it was still Lloyd who killed my parents. He's like, no, you dumbass idiot.
And this whole paragraph is him, kind of realizing, oh wait, it makes perfect sense that the guy who can imitate Lloyd would be imitating Lloyd.
And it isn't just what happened to my parents. All the encounters with Lloyd, and all the atrocities committed by Lloyd. I have no way of knowing which times it was really him and which times it was an imposter.
You know how easy it is? Did he kill anyone? Yes or no?
Did he do a good thing? Or a bad thing?
He never tried to kill you, the real one. The fake one killed a bunch of people. It's fairly obvious to split what was done by whom.
So until I know the truth, I can't blame him for everything. I certainly haven't forgiven him, but I don't want to proceed under a false assumption either.
Oh, you don't, do you? Well, that's just what you spend the entire fucking game doing, my dude.
The best solution would be to hear the whole story from the real Lloyd. But we'll see. We won't. We fucking won't.
We won't.
Not at all.
No.
While we were exploring the Cape Fortress, Sheena fell into one of the Vanguard's pit traps.
Wah, wah,
Sheena
wah.
really is a klutz.
That's the second time
We decided that
someone wrote that.
Zelos, Marta, and I would look for Celis, and Regal would try to find Sheena. We're counting on you, Regal.
As we proceeded deeper into the Cape Fortress, we stumbled across 2 Lloyds fighting each other. There was a Lloyd imposter after all.
Duh!
Wow!
Duh!
That's incredible!
Wow, it's even worse in this journal than it was in the
It's
game.
even dumber.
Because you hear Emil going, oh, there was a fake Lloyd.
I had my doubts until I saw the 2 of them sword fighting.
We managed to figure out which was the real Lloyd, and when we
it
attacked the imposter, he revealed himself to be Dex.
It really wasn't
Duh.
difficult to figure out which one was Dex.
Dex even admitted that he was the one who attacked Palmacosta and Flanor. He used the power of a Centurion's core to disguise himself as Lloyd and attacked a Vanguard meeting so he could both wipe out a dissident faction within the Vanguard and frame the Church of Martel for the crime. That was the truth behind the
Blood Purge!
But there was still one more revelation to come. Marta is the daughter of Brute, the commander of the Vanguard. I knew that Marta was a former Vanguard member, but I never would have imagined she was the daughter of its leader. Even so, Marta didn't seem to know that the
Blood Purge!
had been a sham and was really shaken up by it. Of course, I was pretty shocked myself, but before I could even process that, Richter appeared and suddenly we were fighting again. But this time, Richter seemed to be fighting for real, with every intention of killing me.
But for this time, Richter appeared to be fighting for real, lads.
For realsies!
For realsies!
When he raised his sword to strike the finishing blow, actually we beat him, but don't worry about that.
Don't worry about
The
it.
world went white, and I flashed back to being bullied in Lewin and all sorts of other things. But just as I thought I was about to be killed, Richter muttered, Aster,
Richter muttered the
and
next
spared
plot
my
point
life. Yeah.
Literally the second that the last plot point was cleaned
was
up,
resolved.
they just dropped that other one
Richter
in there,
dropped the other one in there, and of
plopped
course,
it in, and it slapped on
and
the
of course,
table.
these journal entries haven't had any of the side quest stuff where
Yep.
you learn that Richter had a friend that you look like.
Yep.
So if you haven't done the very, very
Easily
easily
missable,
side
super.
side quest stuff for Richter, he just mentions a name and you're like, what the fuck?
Boomst?
Who's?
I don't know what to make of any of it. Yeah, that's pretty answer. It's a pretty good way to put that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Dex and the rest of the Vanguard got away, but we rescued Celis and recovered Glucius's core. Wow, that is still such a mouthful to say. Maybe that's good enough.
As we left the Cape Fortress, I apologized to Lloyd for blaming him about Palmacosta
He told me to fuck
and
off.
all the other misunderstandings, and asked if we could work together going forward. I told him that in order to awaken Ratatosk, we needed the Centurion's cores. But Lloyd drew his sword on me and demanded we give him our Centurion's cores. Regal and the others intervened, so it didn't come to any real fighting, but it ended with Lloyd once again running off alone to who knows where. Why would he do that? He may not be the enemy I thought he was, but I guess he's an enemy all the same.
In a sense.
I don't know what to make of any of this.
Yeah. Us
Again.
too. Us too.
Perfect.
I just want to go back to Meltokio and Brest. Too many things are happening at once and my brain is completely fried.
Too many things are happening is not the first thing I would think about
one
this.
thing has happened.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that now that Aster has been said, the actual plot that's going to be, like, present in the endgame has finally started. At the end of Chapter 5
Yeah, no,
of
chapter
8
5 of 8.
is
Yeah.
the first time that anything relevant to the end of this game actually happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, a little bit.
When we returned to Meltokio, Celis presented us with Glaucius's core as a reward for rescuing her. That was a relief. If she hadn't wanted to us to reimburse her for it, we wouldn't have had the money for it because we're poor. I don't think we were poor
Actually,
at
we
that
were
point.
pretty rich by that
We got a lot of money from Richter when we beat him up.
We did have a lot of money for being a Richter, yeah.
And around that time, we got the item finders too.
Mm-hmm.
We all got together and discussed many things we had learned. First, the Vanguard. Their goal seems to be reviving the Silveron Dynasty, which I think only just came up for like... I guess the ruins had it, but it kind of lay dormant from that point until now. A bit weird.
Yeah, it never really We never really found, like, basically they told us that they wanted to do it a couple of times.
It was
and
sort
that
of
was it.
offhand mentioned that there was a Silverhaunt dynasty, and I don't think it got brought up that that was what their actual plan was until, like, now.
Yeah.
And to do so, they intend to use the power of Ratatosk's core in order to rebuild an ancient weapon known as a mana cannon, which I will now have to explain to you, since it's from the first game, and use it to destroy the Church of Martel and the Tethealan royal
But
family.
you never see the mana cannon.
Nope.
And it's this big plot point that we've got to stop the Vanguard from using mana cannon.
This mana cannon that's just slightly off screen.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Awakening Ratatosk seems to be our only hope to stop them. If Ratatosk is awake, they won't be able to use Ratatosk's cores for their evil plans. And then there's Lloyd.
Sorry, you're getting all the long ones today.
Ha-ha! Lloyd turned out not to be the enemy I thought he was. But now the only thing we can be sure about is that he's collecting Centurion's cores for some purpose of his own. In that sense, Lloyd still remains an adversary. I like how they keep writing that he's not evil, but he's still an enemy or something. But
Yeah, right? I mean, well, they're like... Yeah, they're
Like 3 or 4 times now, Emil has sort of written that exact line.
Well, clearly he's still an enemy because he's not telling us what's
It's
going
so
on. and
half-hearted.
It's like, no.
Like, no. Nah, mate.
No, mate.
Marta and I will continue our journey to find the Centurion's cores, and Regal and Sheena kindly offered to join us. Zelos and Colette said they would chase after Lloyd. Oops, I forgot to mention Colette earlier. She helped us rescue Celis from Cape Fortress, as she'd been in the area searching for Lloyd.
Wow, yeah.
We
alright.
completely forgot about her.
I forgot Colette was there too. And it's like so
This is absolutely the most.
And Colette was there too.
It's so unimportant that Colette was there.
Oops.
Oops.
She's completely irrelevant after, like, the first time you meet her.
Even then, but yeah.
Well, like, you're at least doing things with her and talking to her, and, like, she's kind of driving the plot forward in a way that Regal just takes over afterwards.
Yeah, fair.
It's just the plot is basically a side quest in any other RPG
Yeah.
that you go through there.
Yeah.
The Earth Temple is near Meltokio. We don't have the core of the Centurion of Earth, Solum. So we...
The comma's in the wrong place again.
Oh, right, Solum yet. So we talked about going there, but Tenebrae said that Dex might already have it. Normally, Tenebrae would be able to tell for sure, but he said that Dex Ude Seduction was wreaking havoc on his senses.
Wait. Does that mean Tenebrae smells the
Yup.
cores?
All the Centurions smell like shit.
No, not just... I thought he always talks about sensing it. Why would a cologne interrupt his sixth
He
sense?
did specifically say it was the Uda Seduction
Yeah,
that was
but
doing
why
it
would
there.
it though?
Don't worry about it.
There's no reason for it to interrupt it. If he's not smelling the cores, he's sensing them.
Since we don't know for sure whether Dex has the core, we decided to head over to the Temple of Earth and see for ourselves.
Yeah, I guess it's that specific Centurion Musk.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hi! Marta here! Emil, I'm so...
Uh-oh.
Emil, no, it's stirring. Emil, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you about Daddy. I didn't say anything because I thought you would hate me if you knew that my dad was the commander of the Vanguard. But you didn't change when you heard about it. Then there's the Blood Purge. After learning about that, I was bracing myself to hear that you didn't want me around anymore. But you didn't blame me. Of course, I really didn't know anything about the Blood Purge. But still, I was a member of the Vanguard and the daughter of its commander. Emil, thank you. Well, let's get back to the travel journal, shall we? We did go to the Temple of Earth, but an earthquake had caused a cave-in, and they said we couldn't go inside. So we decided to go to the Temple of Lightning instead. But it was around that time we realized that with everything that had been going on, we had completely forgotten to hatch Glicius's core.
There was no reason for them to have forgotten, I guess.
Who knows? So we went ahead and hatched it. But then Emil collapsed for some reason.
Oh no.
There's a big choke. He was probably just tired from all that had been happening.
Oh, for sure.
Richard trying to kill him must have been a particularly big shock, because even though Richard has tried to kill me, I mean, he's never tried to kill Emil before. Just
There
me.
you go. Just me.
Several times.
Me.
Me.
think this is the last chapter 5. Yep. We rushed Emil straight back to the inn in Meltokyo. After a little while, he woke up, but it's Ratatosk mode Emil, which means we're gonna have a lot of Marta coming up, baby. Not that that's a problem. Ratatosk mode Emil always gives his all. He fights hard for us, and he always protects me.
Wait. It was around this time that Ratatosk mode Emil was getting shit from people for being a psycho, right?
Ish, yeah, because we're gonna go to the temple, and he's gonna like threaten to kill that guard, and I think that's around the point.
But like people were like, Emil, you're going too far before this point, and then he goes super too far. But Marta's still like, Ratatosk mode Emil is
He's so dependable.
So dreamy.
I loved how he killed that guy. That's all that happened. Ratatosk mode Emil reverted to normal Emil almost immediately. Anyway, Emil, please try to rest up and get a good night's sleep before we go to the Temple of Lightning, okay?
Okay, so yeah, it was before the, Since the Temple of Earth is being repaired, we decided to put that off and head to the Temple of Lightning instead. But the Temple of Lightning is closed to visitors too.
Boo.
And worse yet, a bunch of thuggish Marshmallow Knights are blocking the entrance. Ugh. They treated us like dirt at first, but then this guy Schneider came along
Voiced
and
by
said
Cam
he
Clark.
was the director of the Imperial Research Academy. As soon as he recognized Regal as the president of the Zerto Company, the Knights totally changed their tune and started kissing up to Regal. What sleazebags? Also, are we gonna forget that Ratatosk Emil threatened to throw them off the edge?
Guess we'll find out.
Because that happened
Yeah,
here.
that happened right
That
there.
happened right here, and then the guy came along and Regal defeated
Maybe
the
she'll be
situation.
like, by the way, Emil threatened to kill someone in the
Yeah,
next
by
paragraph.
the way, Emil threatened to kill 2 people. Never mind. When we told Director Schneider that we wanted to enter the temple, he told us to go wait for him at Cybex Imperial Research Academy so we can explain to him in detail what business we have here. Yeah.
I guess not then.
Yeah. What? No, why? That was an important point.
Nope, guess not.
It's an important point.
Utterly unimportant.
It's an important point that Emil in Ratatosk mode is not only taking more and more control, but he's getting worse. Like, he held that guy over the edge.
Nope, not important.
I guess not.
When we arrived at the Imperial Research Academy, one of the researchers confused Emil with some guy named Aster, who must have been a spitting image of Emil. Aster belonged to the Imperial Research Academy, but died while researching Ratatosk. So as you can imagine, the researcher acted like he was seeing a ghost when he met Emil.
See, how can this journal be so detailed about shit
And yet
that
leave out
doesn't
weird
matter,
random things.
and leave out important shit?
Yep.
Wild.
Actually, now that I think about it, didn't Richter call Emil Aster too? Regal said that he and his companions visited the Imperial Research Academy a bunch of times during their journey of regeneration. Back then, the Academy had half-elves locked up in the basement, where they were forced to do all sorts of research under Imperial decree. Supposedly, the half-elves have all been set free, but just to make sure, we decided to go take a look in the basement.
Lloyd and his friends didn't take any time in the last 2 years to make sure they actually got set free.
Nope. Unimportant.
There were no signs of life in the basement, so it doesn't seem like the half-elves are being locked up there anymore. While we were down there, Emil, who had been in Ratatosk mode for a really long time, suddenly reverted to his normal self. I wonder why we didn't mention that he was in Ratatosk mode.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. But Emil looked really tired and didn't seem to understand why he'd come to the Imperial Research Academy. We decided that I would take Emil back to the inn to rest, and Regal would send for us when Director Schneider returned. You already know that he doesn't remember when he's in Ratatosk
It's so
mode.
weird how this game treats it like a revelation when it explicitly talks about it earlier in the
It said
game.
it
Multiple
twice. It
times.
said it twice in the journal.
Yep.
Twice.
Yeah, the game explicitly brings that up multiple times before it becomes an actual plot point. It's not even like foreshadowing, it's just,
No.
why don't you know this?
We know this. What?
You've said it explicitly.
Right? While Emil and I were on our way to the inn, we ran into the researcher who mistook Emil for Aster again. He told us that Richter killed Aster when the two of them were researching Rakdos together.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It's just shadowing.
Of course, it was a surprise to hear Richter's name out of the blue, but Emil really freaked out. I mean, he just heard that his boyfriend was a murderer. Why would that shock him? I was afraid he'd collapse right there and then. He really needs to get some rest at the inn.
This is Emil. I woke up from a deep sleep and found myself back at the inn. I didn't see Marta anywhere, but Tenebrae told me that was because Regal had already sent for her. Tenebrae and I decided to follow her back to the academy, but first I wrote this journal entry.
I found Marta and the others right away. I overheard them talking about whether or not I was this Aster person. Riga was saying I might actually be Aster, and only survived being killed by Richter due to some fluke.
We threw that out of hand.
This plot point was so obvious and dumb.
Especially after they weren't even willing to say there might be a fake Lloyd.
No. And having lost my memories at that point, I came to believe that I was Emil, and ended up in Lewin. We're not gonna explain why Emil's mom thought that I was Emil.
She was a dying woman.
We're never gonna explain.
Also, yes, some fluke.
But that can't be true. I remember watching my parents die. If I were Aster, there's no way I would have that memory, and all my memories of living in Palma Costa that
I don't actually have. He doesn't actually have any memories of living in
It's
Palma
never
Costa.
relevant. They're just all made up.
He's like, I have memories, and you're
Yep,
like, no, you
and it
don't.
never comes up. Never expounds upon it.
On the other hand, Richter did look at me and mutter Aster that one time.
And that was kind of hot.
It was hot.
If Aster was a member of the Imperial Research Academy, Director Schneider may have known him too. We've been told that Director Schneider has returned to the Academy, so let's go ask him about it. We need to ask about the Temple of Lightning as well, but right now I really want to learn about myself. Director Schneider didn't dismiss the possibility that I might be Aster. I guess we really do look that much alike, but if I'm Aster, what about my memories of Palma Costa?
Oh,
Every time. They keep trying to sell this.
They harped so hard on him being Aster. They knew he wasn't.
That there was no way he could possibly.
There was literally
None.
no way that he could actually be Aster with them banging this drum.
No, not a chance.
So hard. And a good game, but the thing is, a good game would be subtle with this, making you think he was Aster, and then throwing the switch on you and saying he was Rakdos all along.
Like, what you can do for a twist like that is kind of provide evidence in both directions to give you some red herrings to go after.
What you do
This is the most obvious red herring in the world.
You provide evidence that people feeds into their theory that he's Aster.
Exactly.
But that is also theory that he's Rakdos.
Yep.
You know, it's like Ghost Trick has brilliant plot twists because they feed into other. It's so
Your
good.
assumptions of the universe and all
Yes, and this game is
It's
just
so
bad. It's so ham-fisted. It's
Yep.
so ham-fisted.
the Dominic Deegan of journal writing.
Oh God, you're right. Ugh, gross.
Director Schneider also told us that Richter was a half-elf who used to work at the Academy. Richter was very close with Aster, and the two were researching Ratatos together. But Director Schneider didn't say that Richter killed Aster. I want to believe in Richter. He used to be so kind to me in those side quests that we didn't actually write about.
Also tried to kill Marta twice and you once.
But he
Actually,
was so
Marta
kind
three-
on those side quests
Marta
that we
3
didn't
times.
see.
He also tried to steal Tenebrae.
That did happen.
Like, Richter has been kind of a massive dick.
Yeah.
And
But Emil's got the hots for him.
Yeah, Emil wants
I
to
can
bone
forgive
him.
that because Emil's got the hots for
Emil
him.
really wants to bone him.
When we asked Director Schneider if there was any way that we could to find out whether or not I am actually Aster, he told us that a researcher named Relena Peacecraft used to work with Aster, and that she's currently investigating the Temple of Lightning. He gave us a letter of passage for the temple so we could go see her. The letter was useless, don't worry about it. Of course, the Centurion's core is there too, and that's all the more reason to go to the Temple of Lightning, which is gonna get like 2 paragraphs. Never mind, just one.
When we arrived at the Temple of Lightning, we found the Martell Night Guards that I threatened in Ratatosk mode, but don't worry, I didn't write that in the journal. Dead. My first thought was that Lloyd had killed them. Why?
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 Why did you think that?
Why? But then I remembered he'd been framed for attacking Palmacosta, so the real culprit was probably the No fucking shit, Emil.
Emil.
No
Emil,
fucking
keep
shit,
up.
Emil. No fucking
Emil.
shit.
You know this.
It pained me to see how pale Marta looked. I hated to just leave the bodies of the Martell Knights lying there, but if the Vanguard is here, there's a chance they could snatch the core. So we decided to hurry ahead.
Oh! We found some research notes concerning Ratatosk. Those researchers must be pretty out of it to lose something this important. And apparently I decided to just... What are these entries?
I'm glad. We're getting through them fast. A short while later, we came across the fleeing researchers. They said they were indeed trying to escape from a Vanguard attack. No fucking shit. Duh. The documents we found apparently belonged to Relena, who is deeper inside the temple. I hope she doesn't give up her entire kingdom to the Vanguard.
In the name of peace.
We proceeded deeper into the temple, and this time it was Lloyd we ran into. But Lloyd was being pursued by the Vanguard too, and ran off without saying a word. Tenebrae was worried that Lloyd might beat us to the core, but Relena is in even more danger. We can always take back the core, but if something were to happen to Relena, there would be no getting her back.
Oh yeah.
How terrible.
Marta here.
I get the feeling we're gonna have a lot of these.
I know. Emma isn't in any condition to write in the journal, so I'll do it this time. As we proceeded further into the temple, we came across Dex, attacking someone who we assumed to be Relena. But Dex wasn't acting like his usual self. I can't quite put my finger on it, but he seemed more irritable, or more reckless than before. Something was definitely not right with him. Dex attacked Emil with surprising ferocity, and Emil switched to Ratatosk mode. Dreamy. Before I knew it, Emil had used some sort of power to open a door to the boundary or something, which transported Dex and Relena away. He shadow realmed them. Oh boy! We were freaking out about how we had to rescue Relena, but Emil, the Ratatosk mode Emil, was all, who cares what happens to her?
I believe you mean, who cares what happens to
Oh,
her?
no, I can't do a shadow voice when I'm doing Marta's voice. Marta can only do her own voice. Nuh-uh. Until now, I always thought that Ratatosk mode Emil was Emil too. Maybe the influence of Ratatosk's borrowed power gave him a foul mouth. I should wash out with soap. But I believe that inside he was just as kind and gentle as normal Emil. But I was wrong. He's not Emil. The Emil I used to know may have been a coward, but he wasn't the sort of person who wouldn't care what happened just
Might
because
have pissed his
someone's
pants
a
once or twice,
stranger.
but-
He even worried about Relena in his journal entries, did he?
He did. There was
Vaguely?
sort of, yeah. I hope she's okay or whatever in like one of those previous paragraphs.
What happened?
Also, geez, you got a winner.
We call this transformation Ratatosk mode like it's some kind of joke, but what's really happening to Emil? Isn't there anything I can do? Emil saved me so many times. I want to do the same for him.
Man, they really do a harsh 180 on Ratatosk mode, Emil. Like, at this point now, everyone's just like, fuck that guy. Whereas,
Fuck that guy.
like, less than a chapter ago, they were like, he's getting stuff done.
Less than a chapter ago, she was like, he's so dreamy.
Yeah. I know he's a good guy. He's so reliable.
Tenebrae said that the power Emil used reminded him of the one Ratatosk uses to turn his centurions to their respective altars. That power only applies to centurions, so that means probably either Dex or Relena has a centurion's core. We already know this because Dex used Solem's power, so of course he has Solem's core. Why are we this dumb?
He's looking at me.
I need an answer, guys. Why are we this dumb? We already knew he had a Centurion's core.
Because the plot has to roll forward.
And since Rattata's power only seems to transport Centurions to their altars, they can only be sent to the altar whichever Centurion's core that is.
That is very
which
contrived.
Means it has to be the Temple of Earth because they have Solem's core, you dumb mother...
I mean, we're already right here, so we might as well check the theory.
I didn't catch that first time around.
Well, I think they were basically like, she's either here or at the core,
But
so let's go check out.
I didn't catch that it was like, well, one of them must have had a core.
Yeah.
Like, duh, we know that Dex told us he used Solemn's power to transform into Lloyd. We already know which core he has.
Yup.
Specifically, there are only two possibilities. It's either the altar we presume is at the heart of this Temple of Lightning, or it's the altar in the Temple of Earth. For the time being, we'll search for the altar in the Temple of Lightning, even though it's clearly not going to be there.
We're right there. We might as well check it out.
I don't care what Rattatas Mount Emil says. That's a mouthful. Can I just call him Ematos?
Go for it.
Hell yeah! I will rescue Relena, because that's what the real Emma wanted.
Nitrus's core was still at its altar. Wow, Tonitrus. That's a word. But Relena was nowhere to be found. That means Relena and Dax are probably at the Temple of Earth. I wish we could rush straight to the Temple of Earth and find Relena. But after all that happened here, we decided to pay
Why?
a quick visit to Director Schneider to waste
Why?
a little bit more time
Why would you
and
do
update
this?
him on the situation. Why wouldn't you just
why
I don't
would
know,
you just-
split your party up and
Fucking-
have someone go over and mention
Sheena
it to him?
has scouts.
If only there was someone we could tell.
Sheena explicitly has a bunch of scouts who do jobs for her.
And have been following her this entire time.
Right?
Don't worry about it.
Ugh.
As we were leaving the temple, Rattatas Emil said something strange. He said he had a dream, or was it a memory, of being killed by Richter. Normal Emil said he had been having waking dreams. I wonder if they're connected. If being killed by Richter was a recovered memory, does that mean Emil is Aster?
No.
Maybe he just has a fetish. First the Rattatas mode, and now this. What's happening to Emil?
I do realize that this journal also didn't mention that Richter throws your Mystic Art Party back in your...
Yeah.
Which is important because he does it twice.
Yeah. Ish. Important in so much as anything at all is important.
It's true. I got into an argument with Rattatas Mode Emil on the way back to Cyback. And once again I found myself chastising him for not being who I wanted him to be. Last time I did that, back when Emil was reluctant to say Paul at the Human Ranch, I really hurt his feelings. I was so determined to see Emil as my fantasy protector instead of seeing him as he really was. Aw, I'm glad the game is never gonna do anything with this. I didn't mean it that way oh, fuck off. You're still seeing him. You were still seeing Rattatas mode.
Marta will never adjust her
Mara!
expectations.
Mara! Fuck off.
Cowards.
I was just trying to say that the real Emil is always kind to others. Except when he wouldn't rescue a boy from the human ranch.
Anyway.
We just... Anyway, but when Rattatas Mode Emil mentioned how normal Emil always made him handle the dangerous situations, I realized something. The same thing that hurt normal Emil's feelings now also hurt Ematos' feelings.
What the?
Without giving any thought as to what sort of person Ematos really was, I've been treating him as if he were the normal Emil. I wasn't accepting him for who he really is.
Wasn't accepting his violent impulses for some
His
reason.
psychopathic behavior. He held a knight over an abyss. It was very manly.
True.
I can't allow him to not care about others. Maybe I need to forgive him. I just don't know how to deal with this.
Sever. In Cybeck, we explained the situation to Director Schneider for some reason, and returned Relena's research notes.
Marta really is a person.
She's just like
She's awful.
absolute moron of a 16-year-old that the game treats like she's like...
Yeah, she's an extremely toxic teenage girl.
Yeah, the game treats like it's some profound thing when it's like, no, honey, stop. Director Schneider was able to tell us a little bit about Ratatosk, saying that Ratatosk is indeed the summoned spirit of the old giant Carlon tree, TM, and that he uses monsters to balance the distribution of mana.
You don't think you should have, like, told us this in Symphonia 1?
Richter believes that Ratatosk is a demon lord, but Ratatosk doesn't have anything to do with demons. Even Tenebrae said so, and he's never lied to us.
Wow, he actually did lie to us about this, huh? Because Ratatosk is about the demon. He's holding all the demons.
He's all
back.
about them demons.
Holy shit, Tenebrae lied a fuck ton
But
to
when I
us,
look
huh?
at Ratatemel, I can't help but wonder, is that Aster's personality, or, as a knight of Ratatosk, is Emil receiving some evil influence from Ratatosk himself? Director Schneider said that the researchers at Meltokio's Elemental Research Laboratory were conducting more advanced research on Ratatosk. We still need to go to the Temple of Earth, but it may not be finished with the repairs there just yet, so it might make sense to visit the Elemental Research Laboratory first.
God, like, Relena might be in trouble. Let's go do some other shit first.
We are in no rush to save this woman.
Nope.
None. Uh-oh!
Uh-oh!
That's gonna get a trademark.
Hell yeah! According to the notes you found in the Elemental Research Laboratory, Ratatosk is the guardian of the Ganuka Gap.
TM.
A door that seals the passage to the demonic realm. If that's true, then it's the complete opposite of what Richter was claiming. I feel like the more I learn, the less I understand.
That's wild.
At the Elemental Research Laboratory, we learned something else that caught my attention. Ratatosk's core on my forehead may be toxic. Apparently,
Just like me.
Satorian's cores and X-Sphere's strange stones that enhance the ability to humans to equip them are very similar in composition. So Ratatosk's core may also be similar to an X-Sphere. The problem is that if humans attach X-Spheres directly to their bodies, they ultimately end up being possessed by them. Ratatosk's core could potentially have a similar effect. At the moment, I don't feel any different. And Tenebrae never said anything about there being any risk, but he has constantly lied to us, so who knows? So I think I'm okay. But it's hard not to be a little concerned. If Emma were here, he'd probably try to cheer me up. And if Emma were here to cheer me up, I probably wouldn't be worried at all. It sounds like they've finished repairing the Temple of Earth, so now it's time to focus on saving Relena.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Finally.
And besides, Tenebrae said that Ratatosk's core would fall off once we awakened Ratatosk. And I don't think he was lying about that.
He was.
He lied about, like, Ratatosk being related to demons, but I'm sure he wouldn't lie about this.
Definitely not.
On our way out of the Elemental Research Laboratory, we heard that they discovered an injured woman beyond the caved-in part of the Temple of Earth. That's gotta be Relena.
She's bleeding out.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Hell yeah!
On our way back to the Temple of Earth, Emil reverted to his normal self. Or at least that's what he pretended had happened. Ratatosk Emil had sensed that I was worried about the whole Ratatosk's core parasitism thing. Wow, that is such a mouthful.
This was another scene where they hid his face so that
Yes.
they couldn't see his eyes were still red.
It acted like normal Emil so that he could try to comfort me. To be honest, I still don't know how to act around Emil. I feel like treating normal Emil as the real Emil would be an insult to Ratatemel, and the reverse would be true if I treated Ratatemel that way. But I have figured one thing out.
What?
It's that Ratatosk mode Emil can be just as kind
Wait,
as regular
what?
Emil.
What? What?
She's
No.
Dorothy!
No, 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 no.
He's
no.
the Dorothy!
No, you just spent a bunch of entries talking about how he was a piece of shit, and now you're like, he's kind.
He's the Dorothy!
What?
You're the kindest
What?
of us all, Ratatosk
What?
mode Emil.
I also realized that it didn't say anything about Rain figuring out that Emma was a fake personality.
Yep.
Like it has
Yeah, that didn't come up at all.
Yeah, that's been glossed over completely, that Emma was a made-up personality, which is another big plot point of this game that they've
Yep.
glossed over in the journal.
Well, and it's also like that's the theory that ended up being more or less true.
Yeah.
Or at least it's the whole you're his conscience or whatever is what they eventually settle on, but same shit. Anyway, I want to accept them both. 2 boyfriends in one
Hell
body.
yeah.
I don't know how exactly to do that, but I'm determined to find a way. You have a threesome with 2 people?
Sure.
This is Emil, I guess for the first time in a long time. When we arrived at the Temple of Earth, I finally regained full consciousness. I didn't remember anything from when I was in Ratatosk mode, but Regal and the others explained what had happened. And Marta has been diligently writing in the journal, which made things a whole lot easier to understand. Thank you, Marta. Not just for that, but for thinking so much about me. I really have been awful to the other me. I truly am afraid to fight, but that's no excuse for making the other me fight instead. And yet, as soon as things get dangerous, I selfishly flip the switch and turn on Ratatosk mode. Is that really any different from me just running away? All this time, I thought that's what it meant to be a knight of Ratatosk. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know what to do. I guess this isn't the time to think about such things.
It never is.
I'm worried about Relena and her injuries, since this is my fault because I shadow realmed her. She got sent to this place. I really owe her an apology.
I should get her a Hallmark card. Sorry for shadow roaming you.
I should get some flowers. I'm going to pledge here and now that if the other me ever refused to fight, I stand my ground and accept the responsibility.
But I realized you should use your sonic voice when he...
Mm-hmm. That was kind of my plan, yeah.
Yeah.
While proceeding through the temple, we met Relena as she was being led out by the royal army.
Yes, do remember that they are writing this book report while a woman is injured.
She's bleeding out, guys. Speed it up.
While proceeding through the temple, we met Relena as she was being led out by the royal army. I'm pretty sure let out is not spelled that way. It's LED, but anyway. Relena seemed to be very kind and even told me that it wasn't my fault when I tried to apologize.
The last page had a few grammatical mistakes. I feel like they got sloppier.
Uh-oh, yeah. Is this gonna get worse as we go?
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Of course, I still think it was my fault. That was nice of her. Relena said that Richter did kill Aster, and after he did, he stole all of Aster's research about Ratatosk and published it.
Why do they think that Richter killed Aster?
I guess that's just all they could come up with, and Richter didn't want to talk about it.
What happened to Aster's body? It was in the Gununga Gap. Did Richter bring it out, and so people saw him and assumed he killed him?
I don't know. It never really does come up what happened to Aster's actual body.
No.
If it was possessed or if it was just kind of reconstituted.
No, we basically based our appearance on him.
Yeah.
We didn't actually steal the corpse.
The most important thing she said was that Aster had a small star-shaped birthmark on his neck. I have a star-shaped birthmark at the exact same place. In other words, I probably am Aster.
No.
And we are going to continue to sell this to you
No.
until it does not work whatsoever.
It still doesn't work now.
Don't worry, fellas. And the dream I saw about being killed by Richter probably was a memory. Oh well. But if that's the case, what about my memories of the time I spent in Palma Costa?
Oh my god,
I don't know what to believe.
Rain has already explained in her letter that those are made-up personalities, made-up memories for your made-up personality. We already have the answer to that, and it's the true answer as well. Like, it's made-up memories for his made-up personality because he's really Ratatosk. It doesn't matter when he's really Aster or really Ratatosk. That bit has already been answered.
Yep.
When Marta saw how upset I was, she told me my name doesn't matter. So even if I really am Aster, it doesn't change that she has the hots for me. And if that's the way that Marta's gonna look at it, then I can think of it that way too. I'm still me.
Marta doesn't know who the real you is, Emil.
Doesn't matter. According to Relena, Dex was transported here too. But while she went towards the exit, he went in the opposite direction. That might mean there's another exit further inside, or he's locked himself in here like an idiot. Let's continue going deeper into the temple to find out.
We arrived at the altar, but Solemn's core wasn't there.
Wah, wah,
It's
wah.
because Dex has it, and we know this. Why are we... We didn't see one of Lloyd's weird posters either, so Dex probably already has Solemn's core, just like Tenebrae said, and we know because he told us that they used it to fake Lloyd.
It has been brought up.
Ah! What's strange is that we couldn't find any sort of exit near the altar. Tenebrae said he sensed monsters in the area, so there might be some sort of secret passage nearby.
Oh yeah, this is where we connect two
Continents and like just go in an underground cave.
via an underground cave.
There was a secret passage after all. Further in, we encountered a group of caterpillar-like monsters called Look-ins. The Vanguard had fitted them with special machines so they could control them. Tenebrae was able to communicate with the Look-ins and said they had been used to transport the Vanguard to a mine in a neighboring continent. That's a really big distance, guys.
That's a huge distance.
Hold the fuck up.
That's a huge distance. It would take days. It would take days.
I know that I don't really care about the fast travel logistics, but this is kind of ridiculous. They're caterpillars.
They're caterpillars. It would take days, and yet it takes minutes, and it's because they had two underground locations,
Yep.
and they wanted to.
They needed you to be over by Elmira or whatever
But
it
it
is.
makes no sense.
It's so dumb.
It makes no sense.
Regal seemed pretty upset about this. He was concerned that the Look-ins might be referring to an X-Sphere mine, which is the only other underground asset that exists in this world.
Yep.
That he had sealed and demolished the entrance. If that were the case, the Vanguard could be excavating X-Spheres that would heighten their own combat abilities. Oh no! Regal wanted to go to the mine right away to investigate, but I wasn't quite so eager for some reason. In the end, we did ask the Look-ins to take us, and Regal's hunch was dead on. That sentence doesn't flow very well. The mine they brought us to was indeed the Toys Valley mine that Regal's company used to own. Seriously, the only other underground asset in the entire world. We knew it would be that one.
Yeah.
This is like that part. It's such a contrived,
It's so
bullshit
contrived.
thing.
It's
You know,
so
it's the sort of thing. I don't really mind that we're wandering around the whole world on the world map thing or whatever. I'm willing to let that go. The fact is, the only reason that this is like this is that the plot demanded that you be here at this time, and they had absolutely no way to transition.
Yep.
And it's kind of incredible. Like, oh, we're underground now. That works.
Yeah.
There didn't seem to be any signs of recent mining activity, but with the mine being accessible again, there was a possibility that someone could use its X-Spheres for evil purposes. So we decided to report our findings to the Lazareno Company's main office in Altamira.
We're about to get into some real stupid plot shit.
Yup, basically the entire
Oh,
rest of the plot
hell yeah.
is gonna like revolve around Altamira and be stupid as shit.
So dumb.
Just absolutely idiotic.
I've never seen anything like the city of Altamira before. The entire city is one big vacation resort. But because of the recent weather fluctuations, there haven't been many people visiting. It seems pretty lively to me, but I guess it's usually much busier.
Something terrible has happened. Just as we were telling about the Toys Mine Valley at the Lazareno Company, just as we were telling about the Toys Mine
I'm
Valley
telling
mine
you,
at the Lazareno Company.
It's getting worse.
Boy,
It's
it
getting
is.
worse.
This is a sharp downward spiral.
I told you.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like how there's a bunch of skits in Berseria that have typos in them in the late game.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
We received a report that the Vanguard was attacking the city.
Thank you.
Hold the F up, you evil porpoises.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
They're claiming that the Lazareno Company is holding Marta and are demanding that we release her immediately. I wonder what they're planning.
So, Altamira is under attack. Regal doesn't have any security, and they immediately, come in, surround the city, crawl the city with it. This is important later, This is important later.
Highly.
Bear in mind that the fucking Vanguard took over this town in about 5 seconds flat.
Yep. And are also, do we learn that they're taking over the world right now, too?
We might in a little bit, yes.
While we were still reeling from the Vanguard's demands, Marta became furious. She stormed out, saying she was gonna set them straight. But letting Marta face them alone will play right into the Vanguard's hands. Let's catch up to her before it's too late. We caught up to Marta, but the city was crawling with Vanguard, and we even saw that hot guy.
Remember him?
He's
dead.
They stole the flowers from the grave in Altamira.
That did happen.
How could they?
The monsters.
This is a really dangerous situation. Let's take refuge at the hotel for now. This is a dumb plan.
Yep.
Because that's exactly where the Vanguard are, idiots.
Why would they not be there? Beautiful. Also, sorry about that fart I just ripped.
Can't be worse than this.
True.
In a horrible coincidence, we ran into Alice at the hotel. Who could have seen this coming? But she didn't
Not
want
me.
to fight for some reason. She only threatened us. She said that if if we didn't hand over Marta, she'd detonate bombs she placed throughout Altamira.
So not only,
I'm glad this got a page.
not only did they invade Altamira, take over it in 5 minutes, but they also planted bombs everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, and are now using it to make us hand over Marta.
For some reason. Rather than just kidnapping her.
Marta said she should give herself up to the Vanguard, but we can't do that. They'll just use Ratos' core for evil. And now it only makes things worse. Regal is going to talk to the other Luzerno Company executives, and Sheeta is going to meet with her Mizuho scouts that didn't warn us this was going to happen. They're not very good at their jobs.
No.
They're both going to try and come up with some sort of countermeasure. Me, I'm just pathetic. I may have borrowed Ratos' power, but outside of that, I'm just a useless kid.
You could do a backflip.
But I shouldn't be worrying about myself now. I should be worrying about Marta. Regal arranged for us to have the hotel's penthouse suite. I guess he bribed the Vanguard.
Who owned the hotel right
So
now?
I'll take Marta up there to rest for a while. While we were talking in the hotel room, Marta came to the conclusion that her best option was to go to the Vanguard, but
We've already established this. We've already established this.
Yeah?
I tried to stop her, but I couldn't because Tenebrae got in my way. What could he have been thinking? If Marta gets taken by the Vanguard, it would negate everything we've accomplished on our journey.
Such as?
I have to find Marta before it's too late.
Hold up. What have we accomplished on our journey exactly?
Nothing, absolutely.
Emil, if you could provide me an itemized list.
Absolutely none.
I saw Regal and Sheena when I went down to the lobby, and I told them about Marta. Regal said that Marta had probably gone to the casino, and that it might actually work to our advantage. The casino is the Vanguard's base of operations, so if we could get inside there, he thinks we could steal the bomb detonator from the Vanguard and safely evacuate the citizens of Altamira. And of course, this plan would also allow us to rescue Marta as well. Regal allowed me to wait in the hotel room while he makes the arrangements. He's just kind of doing everything, actually.
You know the killer thing about all of this is that none of it matters?
Nope. This whole quest, like chapters 6 and 7, kind of don't come to anything.
It doesn't matter. None
I
of
guess
this
just chapter
matters.
6, right?
None of this matters.
I don't even remember what chapter 7 was.
Richard is going to go the Gununga Gap and open the door.
Yep.
None of this matters.
Yep.
None of this matters.
Yep. Just completely irrelevant. They just needed something. They needed some drama before the actual endgame happened.
It's irrelevant.
Is basically what this all
There's
is.
one thing here that happens that matters.
Yep.
Incidentally, all of that is just a record of what I have heard from Tenebrae.
Oh, Jesus.
I think I went into Ratatosk mode again, because I
Oh,
don't
no.
remember talking to Regal at
Oh
all.
my oh goodness. So Tenebrae, because Marta's gone, she can't write the journal, and they're not doing Ratatosk mode Emil writing the journal, so Tenebrae has to tell him what happened.
Tenebrae, you should have just written the fucking journal.
Because of this line.
Yep.
Too bad the Ratatosk mode version of me never bothers to update the journal. Regal came back later that night and told us preparations were complete. Hold on, Marta, we're coming to save you. After we left the room, Regal put on a pair of handcuffs because he's into it.
He loves doing that. That boy.
He's into it.
He's super into it.
That's part of the plan, he says, and then he winks. Cheetah and I are supposed to act like we want to join the Vanguard. No one's going to buy that for a second. And we're presenting Regal as an offering. No one's going to buy that for a second. The man who just breaks handcuffs for fun. It doesn't even matter if they figure out that we're lying, because our goal is simply to get inside the casino.
It would if they didn't let you inside the casino, if they just shot you on sight. But the thing is, the racer relies on the enemy being so dumb that they know it's a trap but bring you inside anyway, instead of just shooting you.
Which they could do.
Once we get inside, Regal will use the remote control concealed in his handcuffs to shut off the power to the casino. That'll give us a chance to search for Marta and the detonator. It's a pretty dangerous plan, but it's imperative that we strike quickly. As long as the Vanguard is still in the city with us, they won't be so quick to flip the switch on that detonator
you say that though.
Some reason.
You say that though.
I'm nervous, but I'm not gonna let that stop me.
Wait.
The first step is to go to the casino.
Wait. If they're relying on the Vanguard not blowing themselves up while they're still in the city, why are the bombs a threat anyway?
Yeah, they've taken the city over.
Why, if they're this relies on us knowing they won't blow up, then
they're clearly the craziest motherfuckers in the room. Don't even try it, Emil.
Then why would Marta need to give herself up and just be like, you're not gonna blow yourselves up, you fucking idiot. And well, we'll run away first. It's like, well, wait, then we'll run away first. Like, oh my god, God, this.
Yep,
God,
it's good. It's real good, and I love it.
Just as we had anticipated, Alice figured out we were lying and had us thrown in prison as soon as we were brought to her, instead of just shooting us dead for some reason. Marta was in the cell waiting. Why on earth did they throw us in?
They did that. The one cell.
It was very obvious why we gave ourselves up and they just threw us in the same cell as her.
They just gave us exactly what we wanted. Thanks, guys.
You'd considered the possibility that Marta might have already been taken somewhere else, but thankfully we managed to get to her in time. So all that's left is to cut the power, get the detonator from Hawk and destroy it. We managed to get the detonator away from Hawk. We had saved the people of Altamira, or so we'd thought, when Commander Brute appeared before us. Marta tried hard to get her daddy to listen to reason, but he wasn't interested in hearing anything that she had to say. Instead, he challenged us to a fight. Commander Brute was stronger than any enemy we'd fought before because he had an infinite health bar that we couldn't do any damage to, and claimed to be drawing his power from Solemn's core. We had thought Dex had Solemn's core. Oh my god, no, you forgot that
you
Dex
really
had
don't
Solemn's
need to
core.
do this whole logical thing of hot potato with the core.
He must have given it to Brute, or maybe Brute was the one who gave it to Dex to begin with.
Who knows?
Who fucking cares?
Anyway, if we have to keep fighting with Commander Brute, there's a strong possibility that Marta could get taken by the Vanguard again. So let's find a way to get out of here instead.
Is this gonna be the Rip Hawk entry?
I don't know if it's going to say it.
No!
No!
Oh my god! Hawk's death goes unreported.
It doesn't mention
unremarked upon.
The coolest thing that
Rip
Emil did.
Hawk.
The coolest thing Emil did in the entire game was flip Hawk into the way of the knife.
Truly.
And
this is a tragedy.
It isn't even mentioned in the journal.
Shameful.
Absolutely fucking shameful.
We fled all the way to the Elemental Railway Station, but Commander Brute followed us there at a brisk walk. Regal said that he would stay behind to slow down Commander Brute. There was no way Marta and I could bring ourselves to leave him, but Sheena activated the Elemental Railway car and left him behind at a very, very glacial pace. She must have known just how determined he was and decided not to let his sacrifice be in vain. That's when I realized that as much as faith as Marta and I have in Regal, Sheena has much, much more.
I mean, yeah, because she hung out with him for way longer than you have.
Yep.
We put our trust in hers and left Regal to handle the situation. We can't let the Vanguard capture us for Regal's sake as well as our own. So let's leave Altamira as quickly and quietly as possible.
We bumped into Alice, of all people, on our way out in the city. I don't know why he's, like, confused by this.
Of all people.
Every time we go somewhere, Alice is fucking there.
Yup. Every time.
Every time. We've bumped into her in stupid places like 5 times. 5 times.
Alright, Perseus shows up on page 144 out of 169.
Jesus, yeah, wow, that is a long way to get. Just as we were cursing our luck, a girl with an axe ran up and saved us. Her name is Persea. She says
What, you're not gonna say combateer?
Yeah. She says she's another one of Lloyd and Sheena's companions. She had heard that Altamira was under Vanguard occupation and had joined a group from Mizuho to help reclaim the city. Sheena asked Persea to take care of us and then ran off to save Regal. Persea said she'd take us somewhere safe, so all we can do now is follow her lead. I'm so sorry for leaving you, Regal.
But not Sheena.
But I believe in you too. Please make it back to us safely.
Persea Combateer is a very Gundam name, yes.
Our first goal was to put as much distance as possible between us and Altamira, but we ended up stuck behind a Vanguard checkpoint because apparently they've checkpointed like a 10-kilometer radius around the fucking city.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It wasn't Altamira on an island.
I have no
It
idea.
was on an island. It's on a little island. I guess it's not anymore?
Don't worry about it. While we were discussing how to get past it, Persea pulled out an Iron Maiden like the one that Dex was carrying around that I never mentioned in the journal, and told Marta to hide inside of it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but at this point the writers were getting very tired and the game needed to end. So Persea seemed absolutely confident that it would work, so Marta went ahead and hid inside the Iron Maiden. Just as Persea had said, we managed to get through the checkpoint, though I feel kind of sorry for that guard. Now Persea is taking us to see a dwarf named Altessa. Since he's a dwarf, I guess he'll be something like Dirk, because I'm a racist.
God, there was this checkpoint bit has the bit where she mentions this bit later
Yes.
on she mentions that if you
Write someone's name.
do something with carry it
Put
around
it in, carry it around with you for
like
500.
It's 765 days
Yeah.
your true love will come to you.
Yes.
And Dex
It gets mentioned
it
as a
later
joke
when he dies.
in this like scene. And then it
and then
becomes
it's used as a dramatic thing as Dex is dying.
it's so fucking corny. Oh, we've made it.
Altessa warmly welcomed us into his home, but before we even had time to catch our breath, the Vanguard came looking for us. Among them was Magnar, supposedly of the Martel Knights. Does that mean the events in Ludum are also staged by the Vanguard?
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
I do love how Magnar shows up here. You beat him up, and then he never appears again.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he is out of the story the second that you learn that he's actually a Vanguard member.
Marta didn't know that Magnar was a Vanguard member either. She seemed really taken aback by it. I'm a little worried about her.
I'm worried about the plot.
Magnar figured out we were in Altessa's home. How?
Don't worry about it.
How? Do they have a tracking device on Emil?
I believe it's called a drama device.
Yeah. We didn't want to cause any trouble for Altessa by continuing to hide, so we went out to face Magnar in battle.
Yeah, it's really weird how the Vanguard know where we are all
At all
fucking
times.
At all times.
Constantly.
How do they know we're in Altamira? We just got there.
And they set up an entire invasion.
Yeah. Fuck.
Pulled off a victory against Magnar, and he told us some very disturbing news. He said that Commander Brute plans to announce a revival of the Silverant dynasty from Altamira. Furthermore, he said the Vanguard is starting uprisings throughout the world.
There we go.
So that the Royal Army wouldn't be able to take back Altamira. After hearing that, there was no way we could ignore the plight of Regal and Sheena any longer. We have to rescue them. Or at least, that's how I felt. But Tessa said our top priority was continuing to flee so that Ratato's core doesn't fall into Vanguard hands. The Vanguard certainly do seem serious about using Ratato's core to rebuild a mana cannon that we're never gonna see, and that's exactly what Marta and I were trying to prevent when we fled in the first place. But is that really all we can do? Right now, running actually may be the right thing. We can only trust that we're fleeing towards the correct path. Altessa generously offered to tie up my— Oh, that's where he went! That's why he disappeared, yeah.
He got tied up out of the story.
He did.
Sorry, he's a bit tied up right now.
And keep an eye on him for us. We're going to follow Presea to the village of Mizuho.
Marta here. Emil, I'm sorry I caused you so much trouble lately. I don't have any real power, and I've become such a liability. You're our only healer, actually.
Yep.
Even fleeing to Mizuho was Presea's idea. Yeah, but the Tales characters have come up with all the ideas here. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. It sounds like Rain and Genus have come to Mizuho because they've been out of the game for like half of it.
A long time!
I'm looking forward to talking with them. Rain confirmed that, as Magnar told us, the Vanguard really is staging uprisings throughout the world. They really are a threat, I swear. I fucking swear, guys.
Yeah, they're a threat.
Believe that they're a threat for the next 30 minutes. My head is spinning. I don't have any idea as to what to do. But Rain says we still have a chance of winning. She really is amazing. And it's not just her. The entire party from Tales of Symphonia 1. And even you, Emil. I'm the one who's at the center of this whole thing, and I can't do anything. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be my turn to write in the journal, but all I can do is whine about my petty problems. I need to stop doing that. At Rain's suggestion, we decided to meet with Elder Igaguri. That's where we'll probably get to hear about Rain's thoughts on winning.
Wait, what?
What?
Why?
Why is there a quote there? Wow, these weren't even like copy edited.
Alright.
Rain's thoughts on winning. She's gonna give a PowerPoint presentation where the first one is like a 72 point Times New Roman font.
Hell yeah.
Winning.
Anyway,
Rain wants to go after Daddy. Commander Brute, I mean. Since the Vanguard is a young organization, she thinks it would fall apart if it lost its leader. They said that they wouldn't necessarily have to kill him, and that they would rather capture him if they could. Elder Igaguri agreed with Rain's plan, and promised to send troops from Mizuho to Altamira. And that's
Mizuho
not all.
has troops, but Altamira didn't?
I guess not.
What the fuck?
It's Mizuho has ninjas. Rain, Genus, and Presea all said they were gonna fight for Altamira too. I feel like I should be fighting as well, since I'm Brute's daughter, a former Vanguard member, and the one who started this whole thing. Well, I mean, not really, as we're eventually going to learn, but don't worry about that. But Rain told Emil and me to stay here. She said that if we can keep the Vanguard from getting Ratato's core, we can avoid the worst case scenario, which is why I'm gonna run straight into the worst case scenario. In a way, that was sort of a relief to hear, because I'm afraid to face Daddy again. He's changed completely. It disgusts me to see what he's become.
We're about to get one of the worst scenes in the
I
game.
cannot wait to see what they write about this. I can't believe Alice tricked us!
Oh god,
I really hope Alice came to us asking for help. Maybe she's really turning over a new leaf. I think she really cares about Dex.
I meant the scene where Emil tells Marta that she should go talk to her psychopathic dad.
Ooh, that too. Yeah, they'll probably glaze over that one.
Yeah.
Emil looks like he has something he wants to say to me. If Emil wants to talk about this, I wonder what I should say.
Emil asked me if I would really be okay with not talking to Daddy before he's captured. And he asked me why I left the Vanguard. His words hurt. Doesn't he think I've already considered these things? So when he was lecturing me about letting others do the important work, I lost my temper, yelled at him. I asked him if he expected me to fight my own father. Wow, she said father instead of daddy. But Emma wasn't upset.
He said that just because talking with him didn't go well once or twice, I shouldn't give up. He asked if I, as his daughter, would really be happy leaving things like this. Of course I've already considered these things. It's just that I'm running away from them.
I made my decision. While I was talking to Emil, the vanguard attacked Mizuho. Oh no, that doesn't deserve a heart at all. It looks like everyone has gone to the village entrance to hold them back. The village doesn't have don't worry about it. A villager told us to flee. But is that really the right thing to do while everyone else is fighting? When we went to the entrance, we found Rain and the others locked in a desperate battle.
Did we?
Something like that.
Did we?
I'm supposed to just run away? That can't be right. Before I knew it, Emil and I had joined the battle. Emil, or rather, Ematosk, asked me if I'm still going to keep on running away. It really does feel like I've been running this entire time.
You took the super weapon thing they want to use to destroy the world and ran away with it. That was
Right.
a smart plan.
It is explicitly
was
good
a
and correct to do
smart
this.
plan. What is talking to your fucking psychotic dad gonna do?
And
It does
handing
nothing.
him the super weapon.
It does nothing. As what happens later, it literally does
Yep.
nothing. It literally does nothing.
Yup. It's just because the plot has to happen. Or maybe the truth is I'm not that good at facing up to anyone anymore. But I have to stop running now. I finally see that. So, I asked Rain and the others to take me with them. And they agreed to do it. I almost can't believe that they did. When I consider how much is at stake with Ratatosk's
I
core,
fucking
it would be
know, Rain.
absolutely idiotic to do this.
Uh-huh.
It would be stupid as shit.
Uh-huh.
That would make me a moron.
Uh-huh.
And everybody else is too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is what it means to face up to things and believe in people. And Emil, thank you. I wouldn't have found my resolve if you hadn't given me your courage, which is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
We haven't actually had any of those
It's been
in a
a bit.
while, and we got 3.5 pretty fast. And
Let's
then-
go to Altamira.
This is Emil. I'm the one who should be thanking you, Martha. You're the reason I've become the person I am. So let's just keep trying our best, Kay? Orochi met us outside of Altamira and briefed us on the situation. He said that the Vanguard had set up their headquarters in the Lazarino Company's building number 2.
Yeah, they just moved their operations from the casino, I guess.
I guess we'd blown up their Cape Fortress. Risea told us there's a tunnel beneath the hotel for employees, and if we used that, we could reach the entrance of building number 2 undetected. The plan is then for Orochi's group to distract the soldiers in the city while we sneak inside.
Real being the operation at midnight. Hooey! It's getting worse.
We'll begin the operation at midnight, so we have until then to sneak into Altamira. Soldiers were guarding the entrance to
Oh
the
right,
city.
this part.
While we were trying to come up with a way to get past them without causing a commotion, Tenebrae transformed into a beautiful woman. It was actually the summoned spirit Celsius, and lured them away from their posts. That gave us all the time we needed to sneak into the hotel. Tenebrae really can transform into...
Why is a woman more impressive than a fucking fishing rod?
Right? But, like, I know we really harped on this the last, like, when it actually happened, but for real, he turned into a fishing rod!
It's midnight. Let's ride the elevator down to the tunnel.
Yes, commence Operation Daddy at Midnight. Jesus, Tomois.
When we reached the underground tunnel, Persea and Genus started complaining about head and chest pains. As Solemn's core spirals more and more out of control, its influence is spreading beyond its owner to affect everyone in the city as well. If we take too long to complete our operation, everyone except Marta and I, who have Ratatosk's protection, could begin to lose their sanity. Whoa! So let's find Commander Brute and hatch that core as soon as possible.
Wait, so the cores not only affect people touching them now, but everyone around
Yeah,
them?
that was a brief plot point that only existed for that one dungeon. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
We reached building number 2. Instead of heading straight to the top floor in search of Commander Brute, it'd be safer to learn more about the building first. Let's start by finding the security room.
Once again, remember that the Vanguard took over this building in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's supposedly the super high security building
Yep.
with a shit ton of guards
Yep.
and security cameras and devices.
Yep.
And yet the Vanguard took it in 5 minutes.
Yep.
It's dumb.
According to the blueprints we found in the security room, there's an elevator that goes straight to the top floor. This is the most direct route. We expect it to be heavily guarded. So we decided to split up into 2 groups.
This is only for a scene later, and there's no reason to do this other than...
Except that Rain would not be fooled by this dumb bullshit.
Nope.
Rain's group will act as a decoy, using the direct elevator to lure out the Vanguard, while Marta, Tenebrae, and I use the emergency staircase to reach Commander Brute's room. Rain, Genus, and Presea, be careful.
So I gotta say, one other thing that's about to happen here is that every single Symphonia character is just gonna end up here at the same time
Yep.
for no reason.
Yep.
Like, everyone is just gonna coincidentally end up in this Lazareno headquarters, and that's
Yeah.
how we get everyone back.
Yep.
Anyway.
As we were making our way to the top floor of building number 2, we ran into Alice.
Again.
We thought for sure she'd come to capture us, but instead she asked for us to restore Dex's sanity.
No. Restore the Dex.
The Dex's sanity! I didn't even understand that.
You know, the Dex. He's going even crazier. He started referring to himself as the Dex. I think that's Solemn's core doing that to him.
But instead she asked us to restore the Dex's sanity, who she claimed had been losing his mind since being given Solemn's core. When we said that we said he would probably return to normal once we hatched Solemn's core, she told us it was Dex who had Solemn's core and begged us to help him. I'm not sure we can trust Alice, but we should trust Alice. If Dex has Solemn's core, then there isn't much point going after Commander Brute now. I was conflicted about it, but decided to take Alice at her word, because I'm a flaming moron!
Flaming moron.
I truly regret ever believing Alice. Every decision I have ever made has been a mistake.
Thank you.
Restore the Dex sanity.
Love it.
Everything she said was a lie. Well, everything except the part about Dex losing his mind, which turned out to be true, so really just one thing was a lie.
Yeah.
Commander Brute has Solemn's core after all. Alice abducted Marta, and I ended up locked in the room
No,
with a deranged Dex.
no, Journal. You can't just say she abducted her. She literally opened up a trap
She
floor.
oublieted her.
She oublieted her.
Oubliette.
Oh, jeez.
Just as I was about to fight him, a section of the wall slid open, and Zealous and Colette appeared. How fucking convenient!
Thanks to
Thanks to their timely
Timely
arrival,
arrival.
I was able to get away from Dex. Zealous and Colette said that they had found Lloyd. Right around that time, they heard that the Vanguard's invasion of Altamira and came to save the city. That's when they ran into me. They said Lloyd is here too, but he's working alone. So it doesn't really matter whether they caught up. I briefly explained what had happened to me. When they heard Marta had been kidnapped, they told me I was a fucking moron. They agreed rescuing her was priority number one.
That would have been like, Zealous would want you fucking moron. That would have been like, that could have happened to anyone.
Whomst amongst us?
We've all trusted a bad guy at some point. And Zealous would be like, I haven't, you flaming morons.
I feel so much better.
We were searching the place when Tenebrae had sensed Marta's presence. When Sheena dropped down from the ceiling, needless to say, she was stunned to see not just me, who she had worked so hard to extract from the city, but Zealous and Colette as well. It was our turn to be surprised when she said that she'd been searching for Regal, but found Marta instead.
So I guess she wasn't that surprised to see you.
I don't know why Commander Brute didn't just kill Regal.
Yeah?
Sheena then led us through the ceiling to the place where Marta is being held.
We found Marta captive and arguing with Commander Brute. She tried her hardest to win him over, but as usual, Commander Brute turned a deaf ear to her arguments.
Yeah.
I guess Solemn's
Yeah.
core has indeed heat affected his mind.
Yeah.
Not that I have any priors to assume that he was any different before now, other than Marta saying he totally was. If that's the case, convincing Commander Brute to back down could be next to impossible.
No shit, and yet your advice to Marta was you should talk to him some more.
Wow, I sure was an idiot.
I'm a fucking moron.
I guess I was wrong about that one too. For now, let's focus on rescuing Marta.
We defeated the guards and rescued Marta. All that's left to do now is get Solemn's core from Commander Brute.
Brute.
Once we hatch Solemn's core, hopefully Commander Brute will be willing to listen to Marta.
Brute.
Let's hurry to the president's office on the top floor. Just as we arrived at the president's office, Rain's group stepped off the elevator to join us. Gina's was surprised it had taken us so long, but I'm glad we were able to meet up with everyone. Although I'm still worried about Regal, all I can do is have faith that he's okay.
He's not bleeding out in a ditch somewhere.
We have to liberate Altamira for his sake as well. It's time to face Commander Brute head on. Let's give it our all, Marta.
Let's apply directly to his forehead.
As we had predicted, Commander Brute didn't seem too interested in listening to what we had to say. Instead, he brought out a captive Regal and threatened to kill him if we didn't hand over our own Centurion's cores. It was Lloyd who swooped in and saved Regal, giving us an opening to challenge Commander Brute in battle. It was a difficult fight, but somehow we emerged triumphant. Now we can finally recover Solemn's core. Or so we thought. A deranged Dex burst into the President's room. Dex sought to steal back the core, and severely wounded Commander Brute in the process. Dex and I struggled over the core, and ultimately Marta was able to hatch it. I feel like that should be a but. The pall that had enveloped the city cleared in an instant, and both Dex and Commander Brute's sanities were restored. That was really quick, guys!
Yeah.
Dex ran away with Alice, and Lloyd, Zelos, Genus, and Sheena ran after him. That's an entire party's worth. Commander Brute's condition was dire. Even the use of healing arts couldn't stop the rapid degeneration of a body that had been artificially strengthened with X-spheres
He
and
doesn't
the
die,
Centurion's
though.
core. He's
He
fine.
doesn't die, though.
In his weakened state, Commander Brute asked us to have Richter dissolve the Vanguard. It had been Richter who had given him Solemn's core, urged him to become king, and told him about the Mana Cannon in the first place. I wonder what possessed Richter to do something like that. He's always been a perfectly above-board guy.
There is no reason for Richter to have done any.
Nope.
It's
None of it.
It's bullshit. Like, apparently the Vanguard stirring up trouble allowed him to open the door, but, like, that's bullshit.
But now's not the time to worry about that. At this rate, Commander Brute won't survive.
Oh, Red Sock Monkey, thank you so much.
Thanks for the resub.
As I shred my voice here. Let that go.
We have to save Commander Brute for some reason, as much for Marta's sake as his own. We'll leave him in Rain's care, while the rest of us go find a doctor.
I am pleasantly surprised at how few daddies there have been in
Yeah,
Eternal.
fewer than I expected.
As we stepped off the elevator, we found Richter locked in battle with Lloyd and his companions. Zelos, Sheena, and Genus had fallen to what Richter called the power of the demonic realm, and he even seemed to overpower Lloyd. When Richter saw me, he turned his sword in my direction. From that point on, my memories are fuzzy. As soon as the battle began, I entered Ratatoss mode. Lately, I haven't been able to remember any...
You've never been able to remember anything
know,
that happens in Ratatoss.
ever,
What the fuck are
ever.
you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
So I can't clearly say how the battle with Richter went down. It was really easy.
We won.
We won.
It was like the same
super-
Richter fight that we won the first time, but Baz was like
It was piss.
a tier higher.
We had like Volcano as like furry at that point,
Yep.
and it was piss easy.
But then Richter said something that snapped me back to full consciousness. That I was Ratatoss.
Dun dun dun.
The instant he said that, I remembered everything.
You know what that means.
Suddenly, Aster appeared before me. Aster was called...
Oh no, this.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, because this is like a rat. This is Ratatoss. Emil, so.
I'm Emil. Emil the Ratatosk. Suddenly, Aster appeared before me. Aster was calling out to me, calling me Ratatosk. Beside him stood Richter. The two of them had come to ask Ratatosk, the Emil, to restore the balance of mana in order to end strange weather fluctuations. I had only just awakened, and I despised the humans and the half-elves who had destroyed the giant Carlon tree TM that had been my host. So I wanted to save them. So I wanted to have them destroyed.
No. I wanted to have them destroyed.
I wanted to have them destroyed. Aster tried to stop me. Sonic, the Hedgehog. As if swatting a bug, I killed him. That's the full version of the waking dream I've been having. I was the one who killed Richter's friend.
Alright, here we go. I don't remember much after that. Marta defended me, but Richter still tried to kill me. It was Lloyd who repelled Richter's blade.
Wink.
I remember Lloyd saying that he was Emil's friend, and that he was going to stop Richter. This after I had hated Lloyd and thought of him as my enemy for such a long time.
Classic Lloyd.
I remember Richter being kept at bay by Lloyd, and then somebody saving Richter. It was probably Alice. And that's where my memory ceased completely. I passed out.
Alright, so should I do this as Mickey or as Sonic?
You know, I mean, I was gonna wait until he merged, but we only have 10 pages left, so...
I don't even know, like, at what point the merging even happens.
Like, it happens... It must have a few pages. It's when we go to the thingy apart. Remember we seal him away?
Yeah.
So, like, it'd just be the last few entries. I guess it's up to you whether you'd rather do Mickey Mouse or Sonic.
I feel like my Mickey's better than my Sonic.
Fair enough.
I still can't believe that I was Ratatosk all along. While I do have memory of being called Ratatosk, I also have memories of growing up as Emil.
No, you
Castañer!
You don't, though. They're fake. They're fake memories, because you're not Emil.
Besides, Ratatosk is supposed to be in the core on Marta's forehead. But Tenebrae told me that the core on Marta's forehead is a fake. Designed to draw attention. Of Ratatosk's enemies to Marta. If that's true, then that's totally despicable. I was using Marta as a decoy, and the entire plot kind of falls over at this point. Don't worry about it. Forgive me, Marta. I really am an awful person. I'm not going to write in this journal anymore.
Oh, that's not true.
We won't be able to travel together anymore either, now that I've betrayed everyone.
That's not true. Marta here. Daddy said he wanted to talk to Emil, so I came to get him. But Emil looks like he's in pretty rough shape. I guess that's no surprise. If I had suddenly found out that my entire life history was a lie, I don't think I'd be handling that well either.
My life is a lie.
I have trouble believing that Emil really is Ratatosk too. But Tenebrae said that all of Emil's memories of his past are a fiction, created to help Ratatosk play the role of Emil. Emil was always very vague when he talked about growing up in Palmacosta. But no matter who Emil really is, I don't care. I already have an image in my head of him. The Emil I've been traveling with all this time is anything but a despicable person. Whoever Emil really is, this time I'm gonna face up to him and accept it. I won't run away no matter what, so don't say such sad things, Kay?
Okay, this is really minor, but that is actually not the correct tense for whomever there. Someone used whomever to try to be smart because it's the object, but because the verb is, it actually
Be whoever?
should be whoever. I know the rules of who and whom, I will absolutely always point that out.
I don't know the rules.
Particularly when someone uses whom trying to sound smart.
Yeah, I just avoid it.
Yeah. Like, just saying who all the time, totally fine.
Yeah, I just do that. Well,
Anyway.
shall we go see Daddy now? He's wrestling around the rooms in the hotel.
Daddy wanted to talk about
Oh god, I was just saying that there was no daddies, and yet...
Yep, now she's gone full daddy. By the way, Daddy wanted to talk about was Richter and Richter's role in the Vanguard. So we've got another one. A lot of stuff that even I was hearing for the first time. A lot of it was stuff that even I was hearing for the first time. Daddy had stopped telling me anything about the Vanguard a while back. Richter joined after Daddy had already established the Vanguard, and it was Richter who transformed the Vanguard into a mildly competent organization.
You don't need to keep saying the Vanguard.
I know. Even now.
You could just say it.
There are lots of Vanguard members who follow Richter and will flock to him despite Daddy's orders.
You don't need
That's
to
against the rules.
keep saying the Vanguard. We get it. Use it.
I'm really worried about that. But for the moment, Richter seems to be lying low. Daddy is deeply ashamed of the things he's done and his inability to control the Vanguard. He seems much smaller than he used to be. Anyway, after all of that, Daddy ended the meeting by asking Emil to stop Richter. Emil looked sort of uncomfortable that I said Daddy that many times. After our meeting, Briseia came to get us, saying that they figured out where Richter is.
Boy.
She said that Regal is waiting to talk to us on the rooftop garden of the Lazareno headquarters. Should we go and see how much of the plot they can reveal to us, Emil?
Oh boy, because we're gonna get into why the dumb plot reason why Lloyd didn't tell us anything.
Yo, are you ready for some TMs?
It's happening. At the rooftop garden, we found not only Regal, but Lloyd, Colette, and all the others as well. They claim that Richter seems to be heading for some ruins known as the Otherworld again.
TM.
It leads to Ganunga Gap, the
TM.
door to the demonic realm that Rattos guards. It's also where Aster was killed.
Big bummer.
Big bummer. Lloyd and Zelos thought Richter might be going there to borrow power from the demons of Niflheim.
TM.
Niflheim?
Niflheim.
Niflheim? Through the Ganunga Gap.
TM.
And they're probably right about that, since Richter used the power of the demonic realm during his battle with Lloyd. If that's true, the main concern is what the demons are getting in return. One disturbing possibility is that they're working together with Richter to kill Rattos, which would allow them to open the door to the Ganunga Gap,
TM.
which cannot be opened so long as Rattos lives, although that's not true, and transform our world into Niflheim.
TM.
This entire thing just gets bigger and so.
This is a really serious problem, we swear, guys.
And I'm a little bit lost myself, but nowhere near as lost as poor Emil. It certainly doesn't help to have Tenebrae make it sound like Emil's entire personality is a sham by saying that Emil's identity was created merely to help Rattos conceal himself, even though that's totally why
That's literally it.
why his entire personality was created. I mean, that doesn't mean that Emil isn't real. That plot
RPGs
point-
do that a lot.
That plot point bothers me. Of course Emil is real, but it's true, he was fabricated to conceal Rattos' identity. Like, what? That doesn't make him any less real. Like, but it's true.
He still had an adventure,
But
yeah.
it's true.
This
It's
isn't
true.
actually a contradiction. Anyway.
This isn't a contradictory point here. Both of these things are true. Anyway, since it's Emmatos who has most of Rattos' memories, Tenebrae also said that it's natural for Emil not to believe that he is truly Rattos. Is that really the truth? And if it is, why would Emil resemble Aster so strongly?
That's never going to be
It
answered.
was then that Lloyd said he might be able to shed some light on Emil's questions, including whether or not Emil really is Ratatosk. But since Lloyd has forged a pact, he couldn't say anything about it. That isn't actually true, though.
Yup.
Lloyd left then saying that he and the Guardian of the World Tree would be waiting for us. No full stop. Emil has decided to go to the World Tree to find out more. Of course, everyone will be joining him on the journey, myself included.
Emil, I don't feel betrayed by you, and I don't think you're a despicable person. You smell kind of bad, but that's okay. Ever since you suddenly appeared in my life, you've shown me only courage and kindness. Even if you really are Ratatosk, and even if the memories of your past are fake, the memories of our journey together are very much real. I'm all the proof you need of that. And I'm quite certain that the Emil I know is not a threat to the human race.
I mean, that's not true, though.
So let's continue our journey together, okay? The Guardian of the World Tree is a man named Ewan. He's the guy we met back in Asgard.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah!
I forgot about that.
I forgot that Ewan was there at all.
Yeah.
Trying to remember exactly what he even did.
I know. No, I don't remember.
The guy, like, did the journal mention him?
God, I'm trying. I don't think so.
Even in journal terms, it's been so long. He seems to be an old acquaintance of Regal and the others. He told us a great deal about Emil, or rather, Ratatas. God, now I'm actually kind of curious. What if that was actually cut content? Did Ewan really appear?
Well, no, I feel like we would have noticed who he. Well, I would have seen him right away. Right?
Exactly.
Was he
Hold
wearing
up.
Was he wearing a hood?
Maybe, but I don't remember any mysterious person. Yo, now I'm like, what the hell? The game has thrown me for a loop. We're gonna have to go review the tape here. Anyway, he said that Emil is indeed the summoned spirit Ratatosk, and that Lloyd has been working to stop Ratatosk from eradicating humanity. But he hadn't been trying to kill Ratatosk. On the contrary, if Ratatosk...
I was checking it was Asgard.
It was Asgard, yeah, like the Wind City.
Yeah.
On the contrary, if Ratatosk were to die, the door in the Ginnungagap would open, and this world would become the demonic realm, Niflheim. Gross. So Lloyd and Yuan had planned to seal Ratatosk alive in the Ginnungagap instead.
Lloyd wouldn't do that. That's horrifying.
To do that, they needed the Centaurians and Ratatosk's
That is
cores.
more horrifying than just killing Ratatosk. Sorry, yeah. That, like, sealing him alive infinitely in a door is so horrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's awful.
Did he? I'm legitimately not sure. I don't remember. Lloyd didn't tell us this plan. Lloyd didn't tell this plan to anyone because he didn't want Ratatosk to find out about it. Ratatosk is a wide-ranging network of monsters, and he didn't know where they might be listening. They could only discuss the plan here at the World Tree, where Ratatosk apparently has no influence.
There's no way he could have brought any of his companions here.
All of Lloyd's companions know the name of the new World Tree, and they promised not to speak of it until the World Tree was stable. But if Lloyd had included his companions on his quest to collect the cores, they might have become corrupted by the Centurions. This hurts to read in anyone's voice.
See? They're like, he could have been corrupted, but he could have told them what was going on.
Nope.
Even if he was like, you guys can't help me because it'll expose you, but he could have let them know what was going on.
Nope. Had to make the plot happen.
Ugh.
And accidentally revealed the name of the World Tree to Ratatosk. Lloyd himself had Martel's protection and was immune to the core's influence.
Why?
Don't worry about it. If Ratatosk had known the name, I guess he would have been able to take the World Tree from Martel, and then humanity would lose its only hope of resisting Ratatosk.
Why?
Don't worry about it. So, there were plenty of good reasons for Lloyd to keep his mouth. Lloyd did nothing wrong.
No, none of those are good reasons.
So there were plenty of extremely contrived reasons. And just as many good reasons not to tell Ratatosk/Emil any of this. But Lloyd and Yuan said that they believe in Emil, and that they don't think Emil is just some fake personality. They think he's another spirit deep within Ratatosk, his conscience. This is getting more contrived by the second.
He's Jiminy Cricket.
Yep. If, as his conscience, Emil can restrain Ratatosk, and Ratatosk will cease being a threat to humanity, and then they won't really have to seal him in the Ginnungagap.
Except they do.
Lloyd really seems to value Emil's
sorry,
existence for some reason.
Spoilers, end of the game is sealing Ratatosk in the Ginnungagap.
And is working hard to protect it for some reason. Emil and Ratatosk, oh my god, we are going. Emil and Ratatosk need to be recombined into a single entity so that Emil can be a counterbalance to Ratatosk. We've decided to ask the summoned spirit of Heart for help to ensure that Emil's spirit isn't destroyed in the process. With the protection of the summoned spirit of Heart, Emil's spirit probably is gonna survive.
Why
I guess.
Would the summoned spirit of Heart ensure that his spirit
Does help us at all or anything? The summoned spirit of Heart resides in the Martel Temple in Azalea. Let's go pay him a visit. I thought Corin was a lady. Could be wrong.
Oh no, I think Corin is a boy.
Corin is a dude.
I think Corin is a boy. Honestly, I'm not sure Corin's gender is ever really...
True.
I think it's a boy. Anyway, Dirk was still working on the repairs at the Martel Temple. He's
hasn't
been
been
there
doing
for
much.
a really long time. Emil seemed really envious of the relationship that Lloyd and Dirk share.
Imagine having a dad.
Right? Emil is a immortal summon spirit, but he never had a dad. So sad. When Emil said that he didn't think he'd ever be like Lloyd, Lloyd said that everyone was different, which is what makes us all so important. I think that's true too. I'm gonna just do this one as well because you had a really long one. We finally entered the temple. Various, the summoned spirit of heart, actually dwells inside people's hearts. But the temple in Acelia is where it's easiest to make contact with him. We're finally going to meet Various. What do you mean finally? We've only just heard about him 2 diary entries ago.
I'm sorry about this, Emil. There's something I've been meaning to say to you for a long time, and I can't let it go unsaid any longer. If the summoned spirit of heart is going to protect you, Emil, I have to ask what that means for the other Emil, Ratatosk, who's been traveling with us for just as long. And for some reason, I really can't decide if I care about him or not.
Right?
I don't know quite how to say this, but I don't think it would be right for Ratatosk to just disappear. Of course, I don't want you to disappear either, Emil, because my weird threesome fantasy just would never come true at that point. But I can't help thinking that you need to stand up to Ratatosk directly, without relying on the summoned spirit of heart or anyone else. I'm sorry. I know it's easy for me to say that. I feel like I'm always making things harder for you. But you still laugh it off and say you don't mind because you're thinking the same things. I know that you can only decide the fate of your spirit. Forgive me for butting in like that. Various, the summoned spirit of heart, appeared before us. But because Emil's heart was conflicted, he said that Emil needed more time and disappeared. Various promised to lend his strength when Emil found his resolve. I'm sure it's my fault that Emil's heart is wavering. I'm really sorry, Emil.
Oh.
I'll
take over this.
Winner!
As we were leaving the temple, there was a sudden tremor, but it wasn't a normal earthquake. It was the door at Ganuka Gap opening.
Forming a Ganuka Gap.
How did you know that? I thought the door couldn't be opened so long as Ratatosk/Emil lived. I know, we just brought that up, and now we're just saying
discarding it.
At that moment, Emil awakened as Ratatosk. After he blocked the demons from passing through the door, he grabbed Lumen's core from Lloyd and hatched it. Hoping that Emil would return to us soon, I hugged him tight. Oh, so tight. He did come right back, but he seemed really unsettled by the fact that Ratatosk had taken over and stolen the core from Lloyd. On our way back to Acelia, we found Dirk fighting monsters and managed to save him in time. A wave of energy released by the opening of the Ganuka Gap seems to be driving monsters into a frenzy. This is never shown apart from the
Yup. This one scene's the only time it happens. That's the ticking clock.
The door was apparently open because of all the negative energy spread by the Vanguard
All the bad vibes.
which the demons thrive upon. Usually that wouldn't be an issue. Again, like, why isn't the racism enough? But
God, they are just, they keep piling shit upon shit here.
usually that wouldn't be an issue, but since Ratatosk has lost all of his centurions, his ability to protect the door had diminished. Richter must have been manipulating the Vanguard for this purpose all along. Ratatosk took control of Emil once again. He said that while he was currently holding back the demons, in his weakened state it would only be a matter of time before the world was consumed by the realm. And the only way for him to stop it would be to regain his full power and seal the door. That's why he took Lumen's core from Lloyd. Right then, I felt the presence of Various, and then Emil and Ratatosk became one. No, they didn't. Emil said he had Various seal Ratatosk's personality away, so they didn't become one.
We have become one!
He chose to seal away Ratatosk and take Ratatosk's role as a summoned spirit himself.
I'm taking the keys. You're drunk, Ratatosk.
I'm going to miss Ratatosk a little, but I respect your decision, Emil. I'm sorry if you were led astray by any of the things I said. I hope this won't change anything between us.
This is going.
Our next mission
God.
is to travel to the Ganuka Gap via the Otherworldly Gate. Our target is Richter. this may be our final journey, and our final battle. I kind of mixed those two together.
Don't worry about it.
So we decided to split up so that everyone could take care of their personal business before we head to the otherworldly gate. Emil and I agreed to meet in Altamira after he settled his affairs. I'll be waiting for you, Emil. So now you're Sonic the Hedgehog.
This is Emil the Hedgehog. Or rather, it's Ratatosk, I guess. I never thought I'd be writing this journal again, but after this journey ends, I won't be seeing everyone again. So I feel like I need to keep writing. I won't be seeing.
Yeah.
Or I won't see.
Yeah.
If I can leave them a record of everything that happened and everything that will happen next, they'll be able to remember me for who I was. Thank you, Marta, for writing so many messages for me in that journal. If you hadn't been there, my spirit would have been consumed by Ratatasks and destroyed. I'm sorry, it was me who saved you. It wasn't me who saved you back then. It was Lloyd.
It was Lloyd.
But you were the one who wished me into being, and for that, we thank you. There's still something I need to do.
Oh no!
I'm gonna go back to see
No!
Dr. Eggman and Lewin,
4.5.
because courage is the magic that makes dreams come true.
4.5.
In Lewin, I saw Uncle Alba and Aunt Flora for the first time in a while. We spoke only briefly, but I felt like I was able to look my uncle in the eye for the first time for some reason. I'm not really Emil Castañer. I'm Emil the Hedgehog. And Uncle Alba isn't really my uncle, but still, when he told me he wanted a chance to do things over again,
Jesus,
it made me
gross.
really
Gross.
happy.
Gross.
I won't ever have
Gross.
that opportunity, and I'm glad I never get to talk to that old fuck again.
Please do remember that Uncle Alba abused him, called him a monster.
Repeatedly.
Threw him out of town. And every time you've seen him other than that, he's been an awful, abusive monster.
Yup,
But Emma was
he
like,
showed up around the world always being like, fuck you, kid.
But Alba's like, well, maybe I'll do it right this time. And Emma was like, yay! It's gross.
It's pretty gross.
It's disgusting.
Yup. I may never come back to Lewin again, so I should probably go pay my respects to the statue of Lloyd the Great before I go, rather than just talking to him, I guess. Tenebrae's guessed exactly what it is I intend to do next, and we discussed it at length in front of Lloyd's statue. You've been keeping a close eye on me, haven't you, Tenebrae? Thank you for that. I'm counting on you to help me defend the door to the demonic realm with the Chaos Emeralds. I don't think there's gonna be anything else left I need to do, so I'm going to head to Altamira, where Marta promised she'd be waiting for me. In Altamira, I had a long talk with Marta. When our journey ends, she intends to join the Brute in taking responsibility for the Vanguard's actions and search for a way to end the animosity between Tetheala and Silveron. I wish I could help her with that, but I won't, because I'm gonna be stuck in a fucking door. So I'll just have to cheer her on from the Ganunga Gap. I'll always be supporting you, Marta.
Oh, there's a clip.
Because I love you.
Oh shit, they found
Oh,
him.
that was Ewan. Yeah. How am I not recognizing?
Oh, yeah, you like sees Tenebrae, and that was the only interesting thing about him.
Right.
There you go. We got a half-second Ewan sighting.
Yep. We're on the next page.
No, not yet.
You taking a breather?
In Altamira, I had a long talk with Marta. When our journey ends... Oh wait, no, I totally did read all that.
You did that, yeah.
Because I love you. Well, it's time to head to the Ganunga Gap via the otherworldly gate. Let's get going.
Alright, what am I gonna do for,
You could still be Mika Meal. Mika
No,
Meal. Up to you.
Shortly after we descended in the Ganunga Gap, Lloyd and the others suddenly disappeared. Only Marta, Tenebrae, and I were left behind. Tenebrae thinks it's because Lloyd's group is holding the Darius emblem, which is some sort of charm that I created long ago and gave to a young half-elf boy. That boy later betrayed me, so I set a trap to ensure the holder of the Darius emblem would never enter my domain.
Get the fuck out of my house!
In other words, it's my fault that Lloyd and the others are in danger. We have to hurry up and save them. As we were searching for Lloyd's group, we ran into Alice and Dex, who had been waiting for us. I had believed that Alice had done all those things because she'd been corrupted by Centurion's core, but I was wrong.
Nah.
Alice had been acting on her own free will, striving to carve a place for herself in this world. I guess that's why she was so obsessed with power and strength. I don't know if power's a good thing or a bad thing. When I didn't have any power, I couldn't create a place for myself in Lewin. But that part of me that had too much power ended up being sealed away in the Chaos Emerald. To live only for oneself like Alice seems like such an incredible thing to me. I don't think I would like living that way, and I don't like those who do, but I think there are times in life when that kind of strength is necessary. I wonder if it's only because of Dex's support that Alice is able to live that way. If that's the case, I guess that would make Dex the stronger of the two.
You know, sadism is often harder on the man.
Dex is the one who killed the real Emil and his family. It was Dex who attacked Palma Costa, and Dex who attacked Lenore. I will never forgive him.
But maybe he wasn't a really bad guy.
I certainly owe that much to the real Emil who loaned me his name and loaned.
Loaned?
You stole it, buddy.
Yeah.
However, I think I understand a little about how Dex lives and where he gets his strength. Because now I too have someone who's important to me. When the battle ended, Alice and Dex fell before us. We didn't want to have to take their lives, but their strength left us no other choice. I wonder if Richter will have to face the same fate. Even if we won't ever see eye to eye, does that really mean we can't both live on? That may be asking too much. After all, I couldn't forgive Dex, and to Richter, I am the enemy that can never be forgiven. Last entry!
Last fucking entry.
We're here!
God, these entries have gotten so long.
I know!
Like, these things have
So
been
long.
carrying so many different plot points on them. After traveling a short distance, Lloyd came running to us. He said that all of the others had been turned to stone. That was the trap I had set. It was only due to Martell's protection that Lloyd was spared. As we set off to save the others, Lloyd guessed what my plan was. I tried to mislead him, but I guess it isn't hard to see through me because I'm a blank book. It hurt to have to betray Lloyd's trust, but this is the only way I know to resolve this crisis. I'm sorry, Lloyd.
Spoils the
I
ending.
guess.
Alright.
We finally found Regal and the others, and as Lloyd said, they had all been turned to stone. As I transformed them back to normal, it hit me how, despite what I'd always thought, I wasn't a human being at all. I'm not strapped down by your morals. Pathetic mortals.
Martellus was a half-elf, and now she's a summoned spirit of the New World tree.
Yes, that's the Martell that's being talked about.
Reincarnated, yeah.
No one seemed to have been harmed by the ordeal, so let's hurry to the door to the demonic realm. Aqua blocked us from entering the room to the demonic realm. She told us that Richter hated me for senselessly murdering Aster, and that led him to forge his pact with the demons. In exchange for selling out this world, the demons promised to resurrect Aster. Aqua also accused me of modeling my human form after Aster to rub salt in Richter's wound. And frankly, I'm not sure why I chose her.
I don't know why I chose Aster as my human form.
Perhaps when Marta summoned me and I had to be reborn as a human, I simply went with the form of the last human I had seen.
Had to?
Had to be reborn as a human. That's just how it works. I don't make the rules. Before entering my core state, I don't think that I, or rather the Ratatosk at that time, had any intention of causing Richter pain. In fact, I doubt that Ratatosk had any interest in Richter whatsoever.
That's probably true.
Aqua transformed herself into a monster and challenged us in battle. Centurions can't fight by themselves, so all they can do is create new monsters by shaping their own bodies. What is the difference there? What is the difference
There is
there?
no difference there.
That's just how determined Aqua was to protect Richter. We had to do whatever was necessary to reach the door to the demonic realm. After defeating the monster that Aqua had created, Aqua herself collapsed from her wounds and reverted to her core state. Forgive me, Aqua. I know how much I've hurt you. I'm truly sorry. Sorry the Hedgehog. Well, Richter is just ahead. With all that's happened, I feel that I can understand Richter's grief and hatred. But I can't allow him to turn this world into a demonic realm just so he can get Aster back. I must stop Richter at all costs. As for what comes after that, I'm counting on you, Marta. When you learn the truth, I'm sure you'll be furious. I'm so sorry, Marta. And thank you for everything.
And done. And scene.
Jesus.
That's the journal.
That's the entire journal.
That's the entire journal.
We read line for line, typo for typo, in so many voices.
Me, yeah. Thank you.
You did it. Won't. Now never touch this game again.
Oh yeah.
Don't you worry.
Never planning on it. Oh boy.
And then Emil got the bad ending, yes.
Yeah? Yeah, that image is accurate.
That sure is an image.
God, it really is so stark when you read the synopsis.
How
Just
little, like how completely disconnected it is. And then it tries to kick it up to 11, like, in the last third of the story because it realizes that it's spent all its time doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And Lloyd's explanation is just as dumb in journal form
Yep.
as it was at the time.
Lloyd's explanation is incredible because the entire story sort of rests on it, and it's complete horseshit.
That's our favorite voice. I loved his Mickey voice.
I really enjoyed doing the Mickey voice.
I enjoyed doing my Valley Girl
The
voice.
Valley Girl voice was also very good.
Yeah, we're done. We did it. We finished it. Oh boy. What a journal. God, it really is. The story
What a
of this
journey,
game-
what a journal.
The story of this game is so dire.
It's so bad, and I'm actually kind of happy we were able to revisit it over 4 hours of stream. Like, all those little points that at the time were just like, no.
Like, I completely forgot that they were like, oh yeah, it's if one of them has a core, and it would have gone back to its old point. There could be either of these, but you know it's Solemn's core, which is the Earth core, so
Yeah.
you know it should be the Temple of
Yep.
Earth.
It's so fucking, like, things just don't follow from each other.
Like, they forget plot points so easily, and they just, like, forget them. Forget they said them.
Yep.
Like, Emil's saying, I don't remember anything in Rakdos
And,
mode
like,
anymore, and yet in this journal he said
He
that
constantly
Tenebrae,
says it. And
Tenebrae had to tell him what happened.
in the story, like, every time this has happened, you know, like, the reason we kept getting so annoyed by that was because every time since the start of the game, he's not been able to remember what happens when he goes into Ratatosk mode. Like, it's been presented as if it's this new idea every single time it comes up. And it's never been. Like, we know. We know that you don't remember.
Like, hold the fuck up in the Mickey voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the clip of that.
God, yeah, God, this game was bad.
This game sure did happen. Thanks to all of you fucks.
It was amazingly, interestingly bad. Like, I enjoyed playing through this and making fun of it for the internet because it is interestingly terrible.
Oh god, yeah. I had so much fun streaming this. And like, even the grind stuff, we've done way worse grinds.
I've done worse.
Like,
You know
but
me.
the two of us together
Yeah.
have done way worse grinds than this.
Yeah.
Like, this was not a lot of work to come up with something that actually ended up being pretty fun and how awful it is.
And Baz and Volcano made up for a lot.
Baz and Kano were great. But yeah, the like... Oh no, we did the ending already.
already
This
beat
was
the
a
game.
pure bonus stream. We
Yeah,
are
this is a bonus
done.
stream. We're done.
We are done with this
We
game
did
forever.
the ending last Tuesday.
Yeah, the true end.
The true ending. We
The
were
shadow,
done.
the true self.
And we hit sub count. We got it. No idea what our next sub goal is.
Not a clue like what number it is, not a clue what game it is.
We'll figure something out.
Eventually, maybe. Maybe it'll be Pokemon Uranium, I don't know.
That would be terrible. Oh god. And the true ending is... Oh god, Ryan, you do need to watch the VOD of that. The true ending is... True ending is bad. It's real bad.
It's so bad. It's so awkwardly attempts to both connect
Ratatosk
and rewrite Fantasia at the same time.
Ratatosk can rewrite the laws of the universe.
The laws of the universe, quite literally, mean nothing.
He is Shadow the Hedgehog. He is X-Death. He's Ned. He's Neo X-Death. He can rewrite the laws of the universe. It's... Whoa, this game. But yes.
No, Fantasia.
Yeah, Fantasia. Both
Like, the true ending tries to connect Symphonia to Fantasia and also rewrites Fantasia, like, what's actually happening in it.
Yeah. Yep. It manages to ruin 2 Tales games.
Yep.
How's that for a bad sequel?
There you go.
There you go. We still don't really know what we're going to play next. So it's going to be something relatively short. Because there's a game coming out at the end of January that we are going to...
A game getting re-released.
Yes, a re-release of a game on the Switch that I have played and he has not.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're going to play something relatively short. It'll be a few streams.
Not sure what yet.
No, that'll be on Sunday. Tomorrow, I'll be back. Oh god, I haven't picked a game.
Oh, right!
Oh shit! I finished Captain Town. Oh no, I don't have a game yet. It's been a week.
It's been a week, alright.
It's been a week. Oh boy, if I don't think of anything, it's gonna be Advance Wars 2. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for something. And Revenant Wings is back to its usual Thursday slot.
Yes, we will not be streaming tomorrow evening.
I don't want to spoil the game that's coming out in January, but yeah. Your clue is it's a re-release of a game coming out on the Switch at the end of January.
You know, which, like, there can't be too many of those, right?
There's a few.
There couldn't possibly.
See you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.